What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys checking in. We in here. Raider War Room. Hitting you guys on a Wednesday. Appreciate y'all. You got myself. You got Chris, Tech Show Podcast. Severe's going to be with us very shortly. He's just running a little bit behind, but don't worry. Don't worry. The Severe fans, he will be here without question. Can't do one without Severe. Appreciate everybody rocking. Do us a favor if you can. Double tap that screen. We hit you guys every Wednesday. We also hit you guys on Sundays. I was this close, man. I was very close to do one of our segments, little start 'em, bench 'em, cut 'em. I was close. But I had to watch that national championship game a couple more times just to get my take on it. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the national championship game. We're going to talk about Mendoza. We're going to talk about the number one overall pick. Talk a little bit about head coaching updates. Just what has gone down. Obviously, Mike McDaniel, he is now over with the Chargers. We're going to talk about that because I know a lot of people kind of had their eye on Mike McDaniel as a potential option. And then we're going to talk about some rumors of there's some reports coming out there that's saying that Las Vegas could have some ties to Lamar Jackson. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of rumors are going to be flying. Rumors are going to be flying everywhere. But when it does kind of show up, we might talk about it for a quick minute and chop it up with the chat. So we're definitely trying to get your guys' ideas or at least your takes on it. But we're going to talk about national championship, head coach, and a little bit of Lamar Jackson. So we definitely appreciate everybody rocking with us. But guys, so what's up to my guy, man? Chris, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. What's up with you, man? I'm having a good day, man. Having a good day, ready to talk about this. It's going to be interesting because as the War Room, we always do, we ruffle a little feathers. So this ought to be a good one, So, people always come here to hear some takes that are a little bit of going against the grain, and you're definitely going to get it today.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. Probably ruffle some feathers today. But just know, even if I do ruffle some feathers, it's not without explaining at least my take and where I come from with it. I just don't hit you with I don't think so, or he's just not very good, or you know what I'm saying? I'll definitely kind of break it down, at least my take, and feel free to agree or disagree. We'll definitely go back and forth with the chat and have a little bit of fun. But man, if we appreciate it, we appreciate everybody rocking. Just so you guys know, we do a sub-only chat just to show our appreciation to our subscribers. We also do have some members. If you guys want to support the channel in that way, we definitely would appreciate it. So if you want to become a member, those are open as well. One thing we are going to start doing later in the season, I think we're going to start doing it mainly after we get our head coach in line. Once we kind of get our head coach in line, then I think we're going to start breaking down some game film of the free agents that are out there, as well as the draft prospects. One thing we are going to do for our members, if you are a member, you can definitely throw out some names. We'll try to prioritize those at the top of the list to break down some of their game film. And I do have a little bit of game film from Mendoza. I don't know if I want to use it just yet. Sometimes in order to kind of extract some of the game film, you got to wait at least a couple weeks before people actually kind of release it and you can actually access it. And so I do want to break down some of Mendoza's game from the national championship. I got some clips, may not show it today, but we'll definitely do it in the coming weeks for sure, because obviously Mendoza is going to be the hot topic for quite a while. So kind of before we get into this, again, Severe's going to be with us in just a few moments. But I'm going to say what's up to the chat. We got Raider Ryan in the first one in the building. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you rocking with us. We got Ellis in the building as well. What's happening, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. Sacktown, what's going on, man? Good seeing you in the building. We got Truce Finest. Appreciate you pulling up, brother. Let's see. We got SoCal in the building. Always pulling up. Appreciate you. Got Isaiah. What's happening? Appreciate you rocking with us. LS already jumping it. A Lamar Jackson trade to the Raiders would send me over the edge. I know, LS. I know. You're not a big Lamar fan. I feel you. I feel you. What up, Raider Travis? What's going on, brother?
What's up?
We got the Cool Raider. And Chris, if you don't know, this is Enun.
Okay.
Cool Raiders, I believe. That's Enun. He switched it up on us. But
salute.
That's Enun, man.
Salute, man.
You got Art White pulling up with us. What's going on? What's going on?
Art? What's happening?
God damn it, LS. Let's see. TK, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you.
Up? Got Jeff in the building.
Jeff is here. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Jeff, hey, we're gonna talk about Mendoza, talk about the game here in just a second. Let's see. John Shorts in the building. What's up, fellas? I'm tired of these people saying that we need to trade back our number one pick. Are they crazy? Stick around. We're going to have some fun. All right. Jeff will let you know what he feels like. Jeff's up in here, man. Let's see. We got new and vintage toy collector. Yeah, I like the name. Why would the Raiders give up Mendoza for a guy even the Ravens gave up and want to trade? So I don't know if there's any reports that they want to trade him. I think it's just the fun of throwing reports out there in the offseason. So, Chris, have you heard anything about the Ravens actually wanting to trade? They're going through a head coaching change, so you never know. But I haven't heard actual reports.
Yeah, me either, man. But honestly, it's this is the smoke screen season. People just be saying whatever. They don't even have a coach yet. I mean, literally, you don't have a coach. So for them to even come up with stuff like that, you don't have a coach. You don't know who the OC is. You don't know, how they're going to feel about Lamar. So honestly, like I hear these rumors right now, but I don't think too much of it. Now, once they get a coach and it's someone that prefers a pocket quarterback and something like that, then you can start, listening to some of this stuff. But I mean, until there's a coach in place, I don't even pay it no attention, to be honest.
And I'm with you because it's even with just the players that we want to pick up, the draft, even Mendoza, right? I know the consensus overall Mendoza is going to be the number one. That's the consensus, all right? A lot of people want that. That's what they feel in their mind makes the most sense.
Right.
But until we get the head coach, it's not until we get the head coach and even until you get the defensive coordinator. Like we also like some defensive players, but what happens if all of a sudden we bring a 3-4 guy in?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now it might switch up the type of interior defensive lineman that you want to go after, stuff like that. Right. And so there's a lot of things that can change depending on the head coach that we actually bring in and solidify. And I think the same thing goes with the Ravens. It really depends on who they bring in. But hey, it's the rumor. It's rumor time. Rumors are going to start flying. If there are rumors that at least garner some attention, we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson a little bit later. But the only reason why you really bring it up is because one, obviously reports, but two, we need a quarterback. So we can definitely talk about it. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But new and vintage toy collector. I got to give you a nickname. We're going to talk about Mendoza here just a quick minute. Rick in the building. What's going on, brother? What's happening? We got JD's in here as well. Appreciate you rocking with us.
What's happening?
Coach John in the building. What's good, man?
Watch your mouth, Coach. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, Coach. Stick around, everybody. These people saying trade back are straight dumbasses. We're going to have a discussion. LS, you're saying
guy.
Yeah,
there's a Tommy stand. Calm down, Coach. Calm down.
The Tommy. LS beat writers and sports pages need clicks. Yeah, it's about that time. JD's doesn't think that the Ravens will trade Lamar. We'll see what happens. Kevin Larker in the building. What's going on? Appreciate you pulling up with us.
What up,
Troy Gill? What's happening, man? Troy, I sent you an email. Just want to make sure you got it. Everything's shipped coming your way, brother. Appreciate you. Let's see. Best there is, 1984. Did anyone know of Mendoza when he was at Cal?
Uh-oh.
Chris, what's your thoughts on that, right? I think some people were tracking him a little bit. I know shout out to Jason Downs. He talks about it because Jason's here in California, so I think he kind of tracked Cal. But, you're nowhere near Cal, right? So the question is was he a quarterback kind of on your radar prior to this season?
I knew nothing about him. Nothing about him. Like I said, I'm all the way in the Midwest, so I knew nothing about him. I mean, I do know that I do remember when he transferred, so it was like I think he was one of the better quarterbacks that was in the portal. But as far as like a guy that I was keeping my eye on, like for instance, like going into next year, like I know like Mensa and even Raiola, like those guys are transferred. Like I know about them because their name already rings bells. But like going into, this particular season, I didn't really know much about them at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. There was two quarterbacks a lot of people were talking about. They were talking about that Lenore Sellers kid out of South Carolina. That was a hot topic for everybody throughout the offseason. And then you had Drew Aller. Some people like Drew Aller. I actually liked him. I thought it was a smart move for him to kind of go back to college and get one more year underneath his belt. But that's the one thing that I will always kind of tell people is there's always sleepers. It's like Jaden Daniels. Not a lot of people were talking about Jaden Daniels prior to that last year at LSU. People saw him at Arizona State, and there are some people that that put him in a conversation, but not very many. It wasn't until he got to LSU that final season and popped off, and now all of a sudden he's a big name. And I think that's what's going to happen possibly next year is you got some guys like the Archie Mannings. You know what I'm saying? Depends on what happens with Trinidad Chambliss. If he does have to come out this year, if he doesn't, win whatever, I think Ole Miss is suing NCAA, but looks like he's going to have to enter into the 2026 draft. Even though you have some hot names next year, there's going to be a random quarterback that pops out of nowhere next year.
Yeah, there always is. Yeah,
there always is.
Yeah,
and I think there's probably some select few that knew about Fernando Mendoza, but I think some of the Raider fan base may know a little bit more Fernando Mendoza, or at least heard the name, because a lot of our fan base is kind of on the West Coast, and so you may have heard the kid's name. But starting the season, I don't think anybody was talking about him being a top candidate for Heisman, a top 3 quarterback. I think there was a lot of other names out there outside of Mendoza. But hey, shout out to him. He worked his way to a Heisman.
Oh, he did.
Now he's the hot commodity. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. I got best there is. I'm gonna start starting a couple, but Chris, if you want to take over and shout to some people, I'll start starting some more down below.
Yeah, for sure, man. So salute. We got was that Road Gas? He said to kill narrative of Lamar Jackson will cost $74 million. Ew.
That's a lot. We're gonna talk about.
That's nasty work. Salute to you, Rod Gas. Let's see, man. See, LS said it would take some serious convincing and a hell of a package to get me to move off that number 1 pick. No, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. Be easy in the building. What's going on, sir? Got TNVG in the building. Salute, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. Got Howie in the building. He said, well, it's definitely gonna be Mendoza if you think Trinidad Chambliss or Ty Simpson's going number 1. I call delusion and definitely need some meds. Yeah, no, I think honestly Mendoza's gonna go first. It's just a matter if there's going to be a trade. And again, a lot of people think, and honestly, I'm at the point where I've already accepted that we're going to get Mendoza. I'm not necessarily the biggest Mendoza fan, but I've already accepted it. I'm not going to jump off the ledge when we get him. I just hope we do what we got to do to surround him with the best weapons as possible. But yeah, no, I don't think 805. I know you're not saying it. I don't think any of us think a Ty Simpson or Trinidad is going to jump Mendoza for number 1 pick. I don't think nobody's saying that.
I don't think that at all.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. So is that Fabrizio? I don't know. Fabrizio. My bad. Salute to you. He said Flores resigned to Minnesota, but apparently had the best odds to be our head coach. Interesting. Salute to Flores. Salute to Flores.
Wait. What did you just say?
No, I think Flores
re-signed with Minnesota.
Yeah, it must have just happened because that's like the 3rd person that said something. So
no shit.
It must be breaking.
Okay.
So
I'll have to look that Flores.
Up. Yeah.
I'll look it up.
True? Is that true? Tell us in the chat. Is that something that just happened? I actually didn't know either.
Oh yeah. Vikings and Brian Flores agree to a contract extension.
I mean, that's smart though. That's smart. But honestly, I'm surprised though. I mean, because
I'm shocked because there are still 5, 6 other head coaching vacancies. So we need a head coach.
Yeah.
Who else? Steelers.
Yeah.
Ravens.
Bills.
Steelers, Ravens, Bills.
Browns.
So that's 5.
Yeah.
That's 5. That's still 5 head coaching vacancies, and he he went early. It's not like he kind of
right.
weighed this thing out.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder why, though. I wonder why he'd pull the trigger like that and go straight back to Minnesota.
Right.
Knowing that there are some really good, there's respectable organizations, right? We've talked about this before, where we may not be the most attractive spot for a head coach, right? We got our history with a revolving door. Yes, we have the number 1 overall draft pick, very attractive, but our quarterback situation isn't great. Are you going to want to pull the trigger on a number 1? Yes, we have a lot of salary cap. But we're a complete rebuild. But if you look at some other organizations that are very, very well just put together, well structured, the Steelers, the Ravens, maybe he knows that those Steelers and Ravens already kind of know who they want. And he doesn't want to go to us. He doesn't want to go to the Browns. He doesn't want to go to the Bills. That's very interesting that he pulls the trigger that early. He was going to be my favorite defensive guy if we got a defensive-minded head coach.
For sure. He was on top of my list. I wanted him. And honestly, I was thinking that, the perfect fit would be the Steelers. You got those teams that really believe in, building that defense. And yeah, so I'm surprised. Like you said, for him to kind of sign this early. Because he can always kind of go back to the Vikings. So yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Before we move on, let's get this guy's take on it.
What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? I was at the hat store, getting the hat made out of the lampshade that Pete Carroll had at his first job. just in celebration. He's always with me. He's always with me.
You blending in with your background. That's what you're doing.
So on the Brian Flores thing, that contract extension is contingent upon him not getting a head coaching job. So if he gets a head coaching job, then he'll take the head coaching job. But if he doesn't get a head coaching job, then he's locked in with the Vikings as their defensive coordinator. So, but like when I'm hearing Tomlin has endorsed him to the Steelers organization as the head coach, that was who he thinks should be the next guy. How much weight that holds, that remains to be seen. But he's already given him the blessing to be the next guy up there. So if anybody can do it, the Steelers organization, I think they have enough, legacy and attachment and credibility with the league where they'll ignore whatever people are worried about, these conspiracy theories about him being sued or suing the NFL. Like I think they'll ignore that and allow him to be a head coach.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, hey, it's contingent on him being head coach, or getting at least a head coaching job. So
yeah. But he's not. But yeah, I take Flores over Kubiak all day. It's not a question.
Oh, it's a big question. God damn it, Severe.
Flores over Kubiak all day. The first time Kubiak get yelled at. The first time Max yelled at Kubiak, he gonna.
What are you talking about? Don't be playing with my boy Kubiak over there. He's gonna put his foot down with you. All right. Cool, Kev in the building. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you. Dre's in the building. Guys, make sure you guys double tap that screen. Got the Severe Raider just popping in. You got Chris, Pick Show Podcast on Made of 5 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. We hit you guys on Wednesdays, on Sundays. Just coming in, chop it up with y'all, man. We appreciate everybody rocking with us. We're going to say what's up to the rest of the chat here in just a second. Kevin Lurker, what's going on? But we're going to try to get to the first topic. Remember, if you guys have something as it relates to what we're talking about, hit the hashtag Raiders. When we kind of get up there with people in the chat, it starts to fly. So it catches my eye. If you have a comment, feedback, whatever it may be.
I don't hear these excuses, Kevin Lecker. And Jared Goff went number 1 overall from Cal. At Cal, he won 1 game as a freshman. I think 5 games as a sophomore, and had their first winning record as a junior when he went like 8 and something. Like he went number 1 based on what he did. He didn't have to go somewhere else and surround himself with all this built up roster already, this established foundation. He did it from Cal. So I don't hear excuses about where he was. Like he did it there. It can be done at that location. That's not an excuse.
To be fair, though, I think he might have been asking. I don't know if you heard beforehand. Someone asked the question that if anybody knew about Mendoza when he was at Cal. So I don't know. If
Cal that's what I'm saying. Like everybody knew about Jared Goff, though. Like people knew about Jared Goff from Cal. It's like nobody knew about Mendoza at Cal. That speaks more. Like it's not people on the West Coast don't know about Mendoza. People in the Bay do because they're Cal fans or they Stanford fans. So a lot of Raider fans may already knew about him because they follow that school or their schools in their immediate range. I'm a Pac-12 guy. I grew up watching those schools. I remember Jared Goff. I remember him losing, Pac-12 freshman of the year to Miles Jack because Miles Jack was doing dual duties as running back and at linebacker. He won Pac-12 freshman of the year on both sides of the ball. I remember that. So I'm familiar with all of these schools. And Mendoza wasn't on my radar, but that doesn't mean he can't be good. I remember Cam Ward at Washington State. When Cam Ward was at Washington State, I was like, I see the talent. I don't know if you're ready.
Man.
I don't know if you're ready for the league.
Man.
And then he went and he got some seasoning and, he became the number 1 overall pick. It's similar situations. But like I said, you can't just gloss over what he's done in the past and say it don't count or use the circumstances because Cam Ward had declared. Only reason he went back to school was because he felt he can improve his stock. People already thought he was a draftable quarterback that year after Washington State.
So we were talking about this before. There's always quarterbacks that come out of nowhere, right? The last year, Lenore Sellers. What's that one?
Salute the loon, man. Salute the loon. So Chris gets shit on my hat, but let Severe he said, but let Severe get
my logo was drawn by a professional. I don't know who drew the logo on your hat, okay?
Oh man. Loon. Oh man. Salute the Loon, man. Make sure you guys go check out this page.
Loon's hat was not licensed by the Raiders. Okay,
it was definitely not licensed. It did not have the little sticker.
Oh, that was good.
Let that hat.
That was a fun night. That was a fun night for sure. That was interesting.
The funeral services was beautiful. Loon gave a moving eulogy for his hat, man. It brought me to tears.
All right, Jeff, 16 still need coaches. That's crazy. Yeah. Okay. But again, contingent on him getting a head coaching job. So we'll see how that works out. LS, can Flores break the new extension with the Vikings if he doesn't happen to get a head coaching gig? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit behind. Severe just confirmed that.
Yeah.
Space Beast, what's going on? Good seeing you up in here. Appreciate you. What up, Raider Paul? All right. Let's do this real quick. All right. We're going to open it up. We're going to talk about this national championship. All right. So I haven't gone live since Monday. So I haven't had my chance to kind of just giving you my take on the national championship. And so we're going to talk about that. Chat, let me know. Thoughts on national championship. Hit that hashtag Raiders. Do you think that it either solidified Mendoza? I know a lot of people already had Mendoza locked in as that number 1. But did it sway your opinion at all? Let me know in the chat. Again, hit that hashtag Raiders. But I definitely got my takes. But I'm going to throw it over to my guy Chris first, man. Open it up, man. Any thoughts? National championship, thoughts on Mendoza? Let's chop it up.
Yeah, man. So, I'm going to be honest. So I was going into the game like, man, I'm going to watch this guy closely. I want to see him give another performance that I could walk away and be like, man, this guy's ready for the NFL. He's going to, because to be a number 1 pick, you need to be a game changer, But when I watch him, he has his game manager written all over him. Now, I will say the dude is, he showed some toughness. I will say, like that run on 4th down.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it. Loved it. That got me hyped. That was a hell of a play. He was taking commercials. Shots. Right. He was taking some shots.
And he got popped in the mouth on that on that read option. He got up and ran a draw right after that. The toughness is there. Yeah.
Loved it. And honestly, and I was worried about that. I'm like, man, I don't know if he's going to be able to, take some hit because guys are going to take shots at him. He's kind of, corny, quirky, whatever.
Shit, hey, I loved it because me mainly being a defensive player. I mean, that's what you do.
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to run a read option, and I'm a backer coming off the edge.
Yeah, hit him. Yeah,
I'm gonna take the 15 yards. I'm gonna pop you underneath your mouth. Like that's
for sure. That's what you got to do. As soon as you're gonna run, you want to act like you got the ball. Okay. I'm gonna act like you have it.
Exactly.
Especially if you're there, if you the quarterback and you the stud. Exactly. Yeah, I'll make it known.
Exactly. So so he did show me some things that I did like. But just watching him throw the ball, I think a lot, he's throwing a lot of little screens, dump offs. There was a lot of yards after catch, a lot of yak, that I saw. He did throw, I mean, honestly, his best throws were the back shoulder fades, the back shoulders, where even those, his receivers bailed him out. I know at least those last two bailed him out for sure. Yeah. Becker was doing his thing. So, so it's just watching the game. I mean, like I said, the dude showed heart. He showed guts. But I didn't come away with that, watching that game, like, man, this dude's a real game changer. I really just think, his coach, put him in the best situation. Their defense played lights out. The running game went pretty well. But, like I compare that to like some of those games I saw like Trevor Lawrence play or Joe Burrow or Andrew Luck, like those guys, you're like, God, man, those guys are going to be something, they just stand out. It's just, he's just a game manager. It's, I don't know, man, to be first overall, you got to get that feeling, man. And I just didn't get it. I mean, honestly, I think he's a game manager, but nothing else.
So, this is very much throw it to you. MC, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you rocking with us. Said with a super chat, said Mendoza looks and talks like a bee, but we need him. We do need a quarterback. Question is it the right quarterback at number one? But we do need a quarterback for sure, man. Appreciate you rocking with us, brother. And so, guys, remember, do me a favor, hit that hashtag Raiders, throw it in there. I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh my God, bro! These people, it's.
I'm gonna throw it. If you hit that hashtag Raiders, let me know. I'm gonna try to get the chat up in here. Severe, I'm gonna throw it to you here in just a second. Picks, it's an entertaining game. Mendoza did well, but Miami's DBs were very inconsistent. We're gonna talk about that in just a second. Assassin's Creed, Mendoza is cringe, but need him to survive for what's to come next season. Let's see. What up, Jason? What's going on, brother? Living in Central Cal. One of my kids from Manteca. Hi, just broke Keenan Allen's school record. All ACC. Jacob D'Souza. Love that kid. Hey, nice.
Oh, for sure. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, that's fire, man.
That sounds familiar. Let's see. SWAT, Mendoza will do nothing for this organization. Okay. What up, Foo Chris? What's going on, brother? All right, let's see. Remember, guys, hit that hashtag Raiders if you can. What up, Charles in the building? What's going on, man? Trade with Jets. Load up. We're starting to see things definitely kind of sway back and forth a little bit. What up, Truth's Finest? What's going on, man? Appreciate you rocking. Let's see. All right.
Hold on. Go back.
Partially concussed. You a doctor now, dog? That's what you are? We're supposed to.
This one?
So because he played bad, he was partially concussed. Or because he didn't have a good game, he was partially concussed. It wasn't just him. It wasn't that he actually played a team that had more defensive talent or could actually get pressure on him on that because he has a great offensive line. So that defensive line can actually get pressure on him. They actually made him make full field reads. They actually put him in second and third long situations where he actually has to throw the ball more often. It wasn't any of that. It was he was partially concussed. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Come on, man.
But
come on, man.
To answer your question,
did you make that same excuse for Dante Moore when he had a horrible game? Was he partially concussed, or he just wasn't ready?
He played bad. He wasn't ready.
Was he just not ready? Come on, dog. Come on, man. Yeah, I can't be consistent in anything when it regards somebody y'all have favorite for, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So we're gonna keep getting into this. Radiant had the hashtag Raiders. This draft concerns me because the 07 draft, good QBs are going to be hard to find.
Man, dog, you know how many scraps I've been in? Truth Finest, bro. I'm from South Central Los Angeles, bro. I've been scrapping since I could walk, dog. Yeah, I've been hitting the jaw, and I played football, and I played basketball, and I ran. Like, bro, I didn't get hit in the jaw and forget how to throw a punch afterwards. Like, my punches were still accurate. You check my rep and ask people, they'll tell you.
LS, man, I appreciate you with the super chat. Justin Herbert has all the flashing tools and can't do shit when it matters. Mendoza finds a way to get the job done, and I'm taking that every time. Okay, we're going to talk about that for sure, man. I appreciate you throwing a super chat out there.
Did AJ McCarron find a way to get it done every time, too? Nobody talked about him being first overall pick.
All right, let's do this. What up, Rocky? What's going on, man? Okay. So, Chris, you gave your take, Severe Man. Take on the national championship in general, but then obviously the hot topic is going to be Mendoza, man. So break it down for us. What's your thoughts on the game and Mendoza?
Yeah, man, I was going to be generous and congenial and conciliatory. That didn't piss me off, man. So, yeah.
Here we go.
186 yards. His only touchdown was an RPO on 4th and 5. You know, where he caught his own number. Heck of a run. His only touchdown was RPO on 4th and 5, right? Most of his yardage came in the first half when Miami was missing their best defensive or their best DB, right? He threw for 186, like 120 something was in the first half. So this is your number one pick. The time when he sees a defense is on par with his offense, they actually can compete in the trenches with his offensive line. When he's actually under some pressure, under some duress, and he has to make. His coach said pre-game, he makes 2 reads and checks down. That's the game plan is for him to make 2 reads and then check down. His coach, this ain't me. His coach told the world he's a 2-read quarterback and then check down. Most of his throws were 1-read throws off of RPOs. I'm flowing right now, but I'm not a rapper. But most of his throws were RPOs. Dog, come on, man. Come on, bro. Don't act like this dude is infallible. Is he going to be the number 1 overall pick this year? Yes. But people be talking like this dude is the next coming of Joe Montana. Like he's John Elway. Like we're like he's Andrew Luck, bro. He ain't that. He's not that. Is he the best quarterback in this class? Yes.
Absolutely. Right.
Should he be taking number 1 overall in this class? Yes. Should it be the Raiders? Remains to be seen. If they feel comfortable with him being the guy, cool. I'm fine with that. But don't act like this dude is just all he does is win, because there's been plenty of people that all they did was win until they played somebody that was better than him. Indiana didn't. They were 8.5-point favorites, bro. Do you know how big that is in a national championship game to be damn near a 2-score, a 2-score? You're a 2-score favorite in a national championship game, dog. Like that tells you the kind of talent that's on that team. That tells you what people thought of Indiana, or people were putting their money where their mouth is. He was a 2-score favorite. I don't want to hear it. And he won by a blocked punt. He won via blocked punt. Like, man, don't act like this dude is just the best thing you've ever seen. It is the most accurate guy I've ever seen in my life, because he wasn't accurate yesterday or on Monday. It wasn't accurate. It was 12 for 27 or not 16 for 27, something like that. It was accurate that day. And check the air yards on those. How many air yards per attempt was he making on those throws? I bet it wasn't high. So like, don't act like this dude is infallible. He's about to come in and just transform our organization. Y'all be doing this. It ain't that dude. It's gonna take time. You're gonna have to put people and pieces around him, which I'm fine with. But don't act like he's just he's gonna lift everybody in Indiana, because Indiana was lifted like a mug last year when they lost only 1 game.
So, you brought kind of a lot of points I was going to bring up, but I might get into a little more detail as it relates to just
LS. Check the tape. Check the tape on Pons. He was holding every goddamn time he was out there. Them Indiana DBs was doing the same thing, bro. I don't want to hear these excuses. They was doing it both ways. And one of those PI calls was a garbage call. And they missed the PI on the slant. I give them that. They made a makeup later on that little fade he ran. But Indiana DBs, Pons was out there grabbing everybody. He was out there grabbing people like Trump at a high school volleyball game. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Shit. So when you talk about the game, right? And Severe, you talked strictly about Mendoza's just performance, right? Let's do this. We'll talk about his performance in a second. But if you just talk about the game in general, right? Mendoza was 16 for 27, 186 yards, ran for 1 touchdown, zero touchdowns through the air. They ran 45 times for 131 yards. They threw the ball 27 times. They ran the ball 45 times. Mendoza had 4 completed passes in the second half. All of them in the fourth quarter. Didn't complete a single pass in the third quarter. If you go back and just strictly look at that second half, that's what I think Mendoza kind of brings to the table if he gets tested. And out of those 4 completed passes, one was a screen, one was a wide receiver screen, no pressure, nothing. It was on a I think it was like a third and 3, I believe it was. Simple screen pass. Then the second one was a dialed up third and 3 pass where the receiver kind of had he motioned in. Beautiful call by the offensive coordinator.
Time out real quick, 805. Time out real quick. Sexual deviant. So you've talked to your mom about me. Tell her I'll be there later.
Oh man.
Sorry, 805. You may continue.
No, you're good. Okay. So basically, the 4 completions that he had, one screen pass, the other one dialed up beautifully by the offensive coordinator, and the other 2 were back shoulder fades. That was basically it, right? In the first half, he didn't have to do anything except for sit with 1 read throws, RPOs. That's all he did. And you could even hear the announcers basically saying those corners are lining up 8 to 10 yards off because they're afraid of just keep getting beat deep. It was just 1 read RPO throws the entire first half. And then when that starting cornerback, so I went live on Friday, and that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, and I think we talked about it on Sunday before the game, was I wanted to see what the first half looks like compared to the second half when Miami gets that starting cornerback. How are they going to be able to play Mendoza? And then you just look at the first 2 series that Mendoza had, he was under pressure. He was under pressure. He couldn't get anything done. He was actually forced a couple times to actually go through some reads in that second half, and they were completely inaccurate. One was a deep ball to the left-hand side to Surratt, where it almost looked like a deep out route, something that you don't see him run at all or throw to. Completely inaccurate. It was late. They quarter rolled him out. Inaccurate. The second one, right before the touchdown run, was basically a double post route or double slant route to the back of the end zone, and it was high and behind him. So the 2 throws that were not necessarily RPO routes were inaccurate and off the mark. And so, in addition to that, he was never put in a situation. Yes, the fourth and 4 for the touchdown, that was his call. He called his number. Great run. Not going to take anything away from it, right? But the one thing that I questioned was, and again, it's about what does he do when he is the guy, when he has to be the one to make shit happen, right? When everything's on his shoulder. At the end of the first half, Miami missed the field goal. There was 33 seconds left. They had 2 timeouts to score 0-10. The clock stops on first down. They needed 25 yards to get in field goal range. What did they do? They ran the ball. They did not put the ball in Mendoza's hands to try to get 25 yards to get within field goal range to get at least 3 points and go into halftime. They ran the ball. They ran it. Then they tried a little back shoulder fade. Again, they completed it. But they basically said, okay, Mendoza, we don't trust your arm. We don't trust you moving the ball and getting 25 yards before the end of the half. So let's just go into half. And then at the very end of the game, it was, let's see, 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6 on the Miami 18-yard line with a minute 51 left. It was 21-24. If you get the first down, you seal it. Game's over. Game's over. It's 3rd and 6. What do? They run the ball. They settle for a field goal. You give Miami the ball back with a minute 30 left, and you're now they're within a score. But you with the Heisman Trophy winner under center, you had an opportunity to get 3rd and 6 by him passing the football. You get the first down, you kneel it out, you're national champions. But they didn't trust it. They ran the football. I mean, in the moments that you can just know that he's the guy, you don't put him in those situations. You run the ball and you play it safe. And I mean, those were situations that I wanted to see them be able to go, hey, you know what, Mendoza, you're the Heisman Trophy winner. You take this. You seal it right now. Close this thing out. But they played the safe ball, and they ran it. Now, my thing is that I say all that, and there's obviously there's a lot more to say, but it's probably the most it's the most like safe offense, quarterback friendly offense I've seen a quarterback ever have to run. They don't put him in situations where he has to actually go through his progressions, go through his reads. If you go back to any of his second read throws, it was literally one read to check down, severe to what your point was. He checked the ball down twice, and it was one read, check down to my running back. And if you go to his second throw of the game, he went one read to check down. He actually had his tight end wide open in the flats where his first read was, but he didn't see the delayed blitz coming from that side because he didn't read it properly because he's not forced to. And he checked it down to the running back to the opposite side where he had a wide open tight end. And if you would have caught it, he would have went 20 plus up the sideline. But he's not asked to do that. And so I on his second pass, I go look at what that read was. He basically just came off of it because it's a one read check down. In that first half, that's all he did. Back shoulder fades, and guess what? You're not going to live on RPOs in the NFL. You're not going to live on back shoulder fades in the NFL. You have to be able to go through your progressions, and he just doesn't do it. He doesn't do it because he's not asked to do it. And when we went live, I think it was last Sunday, we were talking about it. The problem is that my question is, can he do it? Because he's not asked to do it. He doesn't have to show that he can or cannot do it because it's nothing but RPOs, one read timing routes. And in that second half, I think that was the closest thing that we got to him having the pressure a little bit. And he completed 4 passes, and 2 of them were basically a perfectly set up play with the offensive coordinator, and the second one was a screen. The other 2 were back shoulder fades. And so, to me, look, there's a good chance we're going to get him at number 1. If we get an offensive-minded head coach and we get him, okay, we got him. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to take the stance of if the Jets want to give us 3 first-rounders, I'm pulling the trigger and I'm moving back to the Jets. Yeah. Because I think it's probably it's the least amount anybody has asked of a quarterback that has won a Heisman. If you go back and look at all the games, they have won every single game except for I'll go back to the Michigan State game. And even the Michigan State game, they were up the majority of that game. But Mendoza threw for over 300 yards. You could see him kind of go through some progressions. That was the most complete game. But outside of that, they win through the ground game. That's how they win football games, is through the ground. It's not through Mendoza. They dominate on the ground. Mendoza is just very good at what he's asked to do. And so that's why for me, based on what I saw in this national championship game and when he was truly tested in that second half, it was a great run by him. But outside that, there wasn't much he could do through the air at all. He completed 4 passes that second half, and 2 of them were design one-read throws. The other ones were back shoulder fades. To me, that's not a number 1 overall draft pick, in my opinion. So that's my take. I'm sure you guys are reading some through the chat. I kind of went off a little bit.
I was reading. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. You were much more measured than me, 805. I appreciate that. No, this reminds me of. There's a quarterback that came out, I think it was 2-3 years ago.
Hey, and you already know. I've been preaching about that, man.
People told me.
You already know.
All he does is win. He only throws on third down because they don't need him to throw. They don't need him to. All he does is win. And then look, what he is in the NFL remains to be seen. But like I said, Mendoza, he's not a finished product. Obviously, he's going to come into the NFL as a rookie. And you get him with the right quarterback, coach, and the right offensive coordinator, and the right scheme, surround him with some pieces. Now, I think he's a guy that's diligent about his work. I think he's a guy that takes football serious. I think he loves football. I think he wants to get better at it. So will he improve on these things? Yes, but people, and I think somebody said earlier, I didn't see who it was. It's like, oh, is it okay to like a quarterback prospect or like a guy or like, bro, I don't care who you like. You can like somebody, you can like some rando from the 7th, like, people was talking about Taylor Green in the first round. Like, if that's who you like, that's who you like. But don't come in here and say he's something that he's not. That's when I get offended. Or you tell me I'm wrong because I see with my eyes that he's not doing the things that people were saying he's doing. Like, you can say, yeah, I think he's the best quarterback in this draft class. I like this, and this. But don't tell me, oh, man, he's elevating this, and he's the best quarterback prospects. And like, no, don't tell me what that opposes what I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes. Like, that's when I'm going to take offense. Like, because I've been watching this game for way too long, been playing it for way too long to go for that. Do I think, like I said before, Fernando Mendoza, he's deserving of being the number 1 quarterback taken in this class? Would he be the number 1 quarterback in other classes? Not on my book. Maybe in some of y'all's, and that's fine. But I think we just happen to be in a situation where in this class we need a quarterback. He's the number 1 guy. Yep. So if we feel comfortable with him being a franchise quarterback, then we're going to take him, and we're going to do the best we can to surround him with the necessary pieces for him to have the optimal amount of success in the NFL. But like I said, in other classes, I don't think he's the number 1 guy. And if there was there's a blue chip left tackle or if there's a Myles Garrett in this class, bro, I'm not taking Mendoza, bro. I'm taking Myles Garrett. If it was between Joe Alt or Penei Sewell and Myles and Fernando Mendoza, I'm having a long conversation. Or I'm definitely trading back to 2 with the Jets and taking Myles Garrett or taking Penei Sewell. That's just me.
So LS, I did go back and watch some of his Cal games. There's only 3 that I could actually see on YouTube. So I've watched the 3, and you can see him kind of go through some progressions. But I mean, I think that some of the games I was able to see, it was some of his better games because that's what they just put on YouTube. But I didn't watch all of his games, but I did go watch a few, and you could see him go through some progressions. But at the same time, it's like, it's not enough to sell me that he is a true solidified number 1 draft pick. Like, he's going to come to the NFL and that's what he's going to do. Like, you see him do it, but not consistently enough, or at least at a high level. And so, and the fact that he wasn't asked to do it at all this year, and you look at it, they beat Miami through the ground game. I think Miami somewhat beat themselves because of the amount of penalties that they had in such horrible situations. And then to Severe's point, they blocked the punt and scored a touchdown off of it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like Mendoza basically just he plays the role he's supposed to play very well in that system. But he's not the focus of that. And I think someone said maybe the game wasn't, I forget who it was, but they said maybe the game plan was to beat Miami, not showcase Mendoza. Well, then it hasn't been showcase Mendoza all season because this is literally what they've done all season long. They just run the football. You go back and statistically look at how many times they run the football to Mendoza passing the ball maybe 24 times a game, but they run it 40 plus times or in the high 30s. They lean on the run game. And he's
also very good, very efficient in the red zone. So he gets the touchdowns. Yes. That's why he has the 41, touchdowns. And I give it to him.
It's like 36 straight or something like that. 36 straight.
Yeah, it's super efficient. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's super efficient. He makes great decisions, and I'm never going to take that away from him. Right. But when I'm talking about a number 1 overall pick, and again, the debate that's going on in the NFL is always like, hey, are quarterbacks either game changers or game managers? I mean, he's a game manager. At the end of the day, he's a game manager, and I think he could be a pretty good game manager as long as he has the right pieces around him. But is this guy ever, like, if we're down by, 2 touchdowns going into the 4th quarter, can we at the NFL level really expect Mendoza to be able to bring us back from, a 2-touchdown deficit? I don't know if he has that in him. I really don't. If he gets down and he can't really depend on the run, is he a guy that can really bring it? And again, I'm not saying that he can't. I just haven't seen that in him as of yet. That's all I'm saying. And when I'm looking at the 1st overall pick, I'm looking at value. If I can trade back and get a couple more draft assets, and because again, I'm playing the long game. I'm looking at what's next year look like, to really build this thing up the right way. So again, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but 1st overall in any other year, I don't think he is.
Yes. Go ahead, Floyd.
I was just saying, Radiant, like you said, NFL defense take away what you do well, and no doubt they shut those plays down 100%. You're not going to RPO and back shoulder fade your way in the NFL. And that's all really for the 90% of the time. That's what he does. That's what he's asked to do. He does it great. He's got great ball placement, great velocity on the ball, great accuracy in that. But you go look at the defense in the NFL, you're not going to be able to do that. And so that's what you have to see, what he does in college, how well does that translate to the NFL? That's what you have to evaluate. And right now, a lot of what he's successful at, what he's showing, doesn't translate well to the NFL on a consistent basis. That's the kind of problem that the concern that I have. All right, Severe, go for it.
I was going to say, but people don't, and that's what I try to preach to this. I preach this to people all the time, like real life, football, investing, everything. People look at what something costs. Fernando Mendoza is going to be a first-round draft pick. This guy is going to be a second-round draft pick. Or, if I want to buy this car, it's going to cost me $20,000. So I want to buy this item. This purse is $600, whatever the case may be, right? That's the incorrect way of looking at asset expenditure. What you look at is opportunity cost. What would I have done with this asset if I did not use it toward this particular toward this particular product or goods, right? What would we do with that first round pick if we don't use it on Fernando Mendoza? We could potentially turn that one first round pick into 3 first round picks, into 2 first round picks, a high level player in a second. Like, what does that mean for the team? So if you're not convinced that Fernando Mendoza is a guy that changes your organization or is going to be your franchise quarterback for years to come, then you have to look extremely hard at other options. Or if you do feel that Fernando Mendoza is that guy, what you have to do is look very hard at trading Max Crosby, because then you have to surround that guy with the things to help him be successful. And Max Crosby has, unfortunately, he has not led this team to a top tier defense since he's been here. He has had individual success, and that's great. Love him for it. He's my favorite player on the Raiders, but he's getting up there in age. He's coming off of a surgery. Another thing is that his attitude, man, is starting to wear on me. He just did a clip saying he knew in September he needed surgery. He knew in September he needed surgery. Yet, when the team told him to sit down the last 2 games, he threw a fit. That's not anybody else does something like anybody else takes their ball and go home knowing they're hurt and they need surgery. What will people say? But people give him a pass.
Right.
Like, bro, you got to be consistent with this. Right. So if you want Mendoza to be successful, then you have to find him the pieces that are going to surround him and help him be successful. One of the best ways to do that is to trade essentially the only valuable asset you have on your team, that you are going to be willing to trade, assume, because you're not going to trade Genty, I'm sure. And they're not going to trade Bowers, I'm sure. Max is the next guy. So, if you want Mendoza to be successful, you need to give him some pieces. The best way to do that is to trade Max Crosby, get some additional picks, and help him get an offensive line, help him get a number 1 wide receiver. You do those things. But I'm sure people are going to say in the chat, why would you trade Max Crosby?
Exactly. And the thing is, those same people that are saying that are going to be the ones that's complaining next year when Mendoza is running for his life, or he doesn't have, a top-notch receivers and all that stuff. They're going to say, oh, he doesn't have help. Oh, we should have gave him this. But the thing is, you guys are not willing to do what's best for the team. And, holistically, I mean, you guys don't want to do that. You guys get too emotionally attached to these guys. I love Max. I absolutely love him. But the thing is, I've already accepted we're going to get Mendoza. Do I necessarily want him? No, but I've accepted it. So my mind immediately goes to, what do we do, or what can we do to get him the either protect, or not either, but both, the best protection possible and the best weapons as possible. We're, for one, going to have to hit 100% on our draft picks, or we need to get more draft picks and draft someone like, and trade someone like Max Crosby, because we've always said this is the highest his trade value is going to be. Let him play one more year and get hurt again, have another season-ending injury. We'll be lucky to get a first for him, maybe. You just never know. Let's trade him while we can at least get 2 draft picks and maybe a player for him. Let's do it.
And it's something that I mentioned before it's right. Due to Max's contract, the thing is that if you want to hold on to Max, the reason why I'm open to trading Max this time around is because if Mendoza comes in and if he doesn't start year one, right, you let him learn, you let him grow and develop, then by year two, you're hoping that you see some progress. Now maybe you're getting to 7 wins, maybe 8 wins, and then by year 3, hoping now you're potentially making playoffs, or maybe you're making a push. Well, guess what? Max isn't going to be a part of that development.
Yeah.
So we have to make a decision on Max after this season. He has 2 years left.
Yeah.
So he's not going to go into a lame duck year without a contract extension. So then you have to figure out, do you want to pay a 3-4 year contract extension for the highest defensive paid player ever on a guy that's going to be 31 years old at the end of this contract and is coming off of several surgeries? Bro, is that 3 surgeries, like 3 years in a row? He had a surgery, almost died, he said. Like, come on, dog. You paying a dude that almost died 2 years ago. So what are we doing?
And the thing is that you can get instant success through free agency, right? And that's why I think, this, and again, I've said this in the past about Gruden, is right. He failed miserably in the draft and free agency, but you can try to get instant success through free agency, but the way you get sustained success is through the draft. And if you can actually potentially trade back this year, possibly go get your quarterback next year, which again, look, I don't like the fact that we don't get our quarterback this year. I understand we need it. Don't get me wrong, right? I would love to get a quarterback this year, but at the same time, if I'm getting somebody number 1 overall, I want to make sure that he is generational. He's game changer, that he's going to be the guy that we are going to build around, and he's going to take us to the promised land and win us 2, 3, 4, 5 Super Bowls. Like, that's what I want. I don't see Mendoza and Kevin Lurker, to your point. It's not that I'm not saying he can't do it. It's just that this year, he showed that he wasn't asked to do it. So there's that question mark of how well can he go through his progressions, because he just wasn't asked to do it. Not a lot at all this entire year at Indiana. It's all one read timing throws. That's it. Back shoulder fades. One read checkdowns. That's all it is. 90% of the time. So again, I'm not saying he can't do it. There's just a big question mark. And if I have that big of a question mark at number 1, I don't want to pull that trigger. Now, in addition to that, if you trade back with the Jets and say you get 3 or 4 first rounders, and then you trade away Max and you get 2 more first rounders for Max, it doesn't necessarily have to be all these first rounders, in this year and next year. You could even have 3 first rounders next year, use one of them and trade back and get another first rounder in 2027, 2028. And that's how you continuously build through the draft and you have sustained success, because free agent contracts, you can go get a Linderbaum, right? A lot of people like Linderbaum, okay? You can go get a Linderbaum, but guess what? At a certain point, that contract is going to run out. You're going to have to figure out, do we need to re-sign him after 3 years or what have you? Then that contract is coming up and you can go address that position in the draft. Now you have the draft capital. And so, to me, is Fernando worth being able to go get a ton of draft capital that could potentially, if you do it right, and I know a lot of people, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well, do you trust in Spike?"
What happened last time with right?
It's not that I don't like. I didn't like who Spike picked. I don't, right? But at the same time, like, you can't be afraid of the past. You got to be able to do what's right in the situation. And if we can all of a sudden stockpile a crap ton of first rounders and use 1 or 2 of those first rounders to get more first rounders, in 2028, 2029, and just kind of continue to build this thing, that's how you get sustained success. I'm just not sold on Fernando Mendoza of being the guy that we will build around, and he's going to be the one that's going to get us the 3 to 4 to 5 Super Bowls. I just don't see it based on his play.
What people do, I'll address this first to kind of address your last point you made about Spytek and people not trusting Spytek with the picks. People put themselves in logic binds, right? Like, I'll tell you this is how. People say, you can't trust what Spytek's going to do with those picks. Like, he's not going to know what to do with them. But then we trust Spytek to identify that Fernando Mendoza is the number 1 pick. Like, so if he's identifying Fernando Mendoza as the number 1 pick, we should trust his judgment on that because you agree with him. But we shouldn't trust his judgment on what he would do with those other first round picks if he had those assets in other drafts. or later on in this draft. See, like, you can't have it both ways. You can't say I don't trust his judgment and then say, well, I trust him because he thinks Fernando Mendoza is number one, so I trust him there. But I don't trust him to do it the right thing with his other picks. It don't make sense. And to Kevin Lecker's point about who says he can't learn it. See, that's when we're working under hypotheticals. That's when we get into what can he be? You know, that's when nothing told anybody that Anthony Richardson couldn't learn to play the quarterback position if he just had more experience, right? Nothing says that Lenora Sellers can't learn to be a better processor and, you know, get more repeatable mechanics once he gets with higher tier coaches. Like nothing says any of these things can't happen. It's the likelihood that they will happen. Second thing is people confused intelligence with football intelligence. Just because you're smart and you're a good student doesn't mean you translate that to the football field. Perfect example, right? Like there are things that happen in the confines of athletic events, of athletic sports, that don't necessarily express themselves outside of those confines. Like there was one time Muhammad Ali, they were doing a reflex test, and it was shown that Muhammad Ali had average reflexes on this test. But you put Muhammad Ali in the ring, he has some of the best reflexes you've seen in human history. Just because you're good or not good at something outside of it doesn't mean you won't be good at it inside of it. So just because he's smart in class doesn't mean that will translate to the football field. Some of the dumbest people I know were football savants. They can draw it up. They knew what was going to happen before it even happened on a football field. But just normal, because intelligence expresses itself differently for different people. I'm sure like people know that, just like people learn different ways, all that stuff. So just because you're not a good student or you didn't graduate fast or you didn't go to the best university doesn't mean you won't be good or you won't be able to learn a sport. You know, like I think people get that confused because you went to Cal, like that means anything. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like he's a smart guy. I look at his recall. I think that says more about what he will be able to do on a football field than anything. Just the fact that he can remember specific events from a game and how they played out. I think that speaks to, okay, that shows me that if he sees something twice, he'll remember it. But like just because he's a good student at Cal or he went to Cal and grad, like I don't mean nothing to nobody.
Real quick, AG, I apologize, but I'm behind the chat. Looks like I am probably pretty far behind you. So I guess this is about second guessing what we've seen all season: passing accuracy, TDs, and low interception rate. Only thing I'll say to that is it's not second guessing his accuracy, right? Ball placement, all that. Like we're not questioning any of that. Like he's very accurate. Great ball placement, great velocity on the football, great decision making, right? When it comes to just the RPO game. But that's all within a structure that he's not going to be forced to play in the NFL. Like he's not going to live off of RPOs and back shoulder fades. Like that's just not what he's going to live in. So he's not being forced in those type of situations where he's showing good accuracy, showing good ball placement. He's not going to be in those same situations. It's not going to be that comfortable. It's not going to be that easy. It's why I had the biggest concern with Shedeur Sanders. And I'll say this very quickly. With Shedeur Sanders, the question mark that I had and what he showed on film is when he had to get to his third and fourth progression, when he had to read down the line, his accuracy dropped. Why? Because he couldn't get his body in position to make the throw accurately. The ball placement dropped. And that's what my concern is with Mendoza, because he doesn't have to do it a lot. When he has to get to that second and third and fourth read, which he'll have to do in the NFL, his accuracy tends to drop. You also have to be able to hit the middle of the field. 90% of his throws are to the sideline. 90% of his throws. If you go back and you look at the game against Miami, I believe he had 3 throws to the middle of the field. One was an RPO. One was a double slant in the back of the end zone that was completely inaccurate. And the other one was a check down to his running back. Like, he doesn't have to do it a lot. But when he does have to do it, 50% of his time, his ball placement, his accuracy drops. And that's what he's going to have to do in the NFL. That's why I have my concern. So it's not judging him about what he shows on tape. It's showing what he doesn't show on tape because he's not asked to do it, but he will be asked to do it in the NFL. All right, hold on. All right, so I'm trying to get through this chat a little bit. I appreciate it. Let's see. The Autumn Wind, what's your gut feeling about him, floor and ceiling? I think his floor is that he's going to be. I think he has all the ability and tools to be a good quarterback. Great remains to be seen. I think there's a lot of question marks if he's going to be great. And if you pick somebody number one, you want him to be great. You want him to show the traits to be great in the National Football League. I think he could be a good quarterback. That's what I think his floor is. And I know I've mentioned this in the past, that with a quarterback, one thing I really do like in a quarterback is I want your floor. I want you to have a high floor. And I think there's a chance that he could have a high floor, but God, I wish I would have just seen him forced to make better throws that would be more NFL style throws in certain situations, which again, he just wasn't asked to do. Siri, I'll throw it to you first. What do you think? What's your gut feeling? What's his floor versus ceiling?
Floor, Jimmy Garoppolo. About that guy that's, can be the game manager. You put him talent around him, have some success. You put him, as soon as you take him out of those confines, we see Jimmy Garoppolo in Las Vegas. Ceiling, I think a lot of people have said it, like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's a darn good quarterback. Won the MVP, went to a Super Bowl. But, he was in the Kyle Shanahan system. They had two great receivers. They had Devontae Freeman, I want to say, they had weapons that are really good offensive line and a great play caller. So I think, you put those things around a guy like that and they can have some success. So I think that's kind of where I see him. I don't see him being a bottom 20 like quarterback or like falling outside of the top 20. But I don't see him consistently being in the top 8. I think he's going to fall somewhere between that 8 and 12 range for most of his career. Which, hey, you can, with the right system and the right pieces around him, that's more than enough to win. And that's still a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, Chris, what's your opinion? Floor versus ceiling with Mendoza. And actually, Severe, I agree. Floor's probably Jimmy Garoppolo. You saw what he did with the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you build around him. It could be Jimmy Garoppolo. I kind of agree. Better arm. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Better arm than Jimmy.
Yeah. So, floor, I'm going to put his floor a little lower, actually, because, I think there's a possibility that, because Jimmy was able to start, but I think there's a possibility that, things just won't work out for Mendoza and he just will never – really be that starter. I think he will. So we're talking about floor. So, actually, no, Jimmy was a backup for a while. So you know what? I actually like the Jimmy. But his ceiling, maybe a Jared Goff, a Jared Goff type, something like that. I don't see him being a guy that's going to really put a team on his back. That's my problem. If he's with a team that has all the pieces around him, will he be able to, get the job done? Will he be able to dot some teams up? I mean, honestly, he could almost be he could damn near be like a Rich Gannon if he had all the pieces around him. He could be something like that. But, once you take him out of that comfort zone where he has to win it by himself, and again, you shouldn't have to do that in the NFL. But unfortunately, with the Raiders, you're not going to have all the weapons right away. So you got to have to be able to be able to play without a good offensive line. You got to be able to play with, teams not respecting your running game. You're going to have to be able to do those things. And I just don't see it in them yet. Again, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but to be a number 1 overall pick, you have to be able to show those things. And I just don't see it. So Jared Goff, I think that's probably his ceiling, honestly.
Jared Goff threw for 4,700 yards. I want to say 45 touchdowns and 10 interceptions his last year at Cal.
Right.
Well, and I know a lot of people are there's nothing wrong with a game manager. There's nothing wrong with a game manager. Even if Mendoza ends up being a game manager, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's not a slight.
But I don't want a game manager at number one overall.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Exactly. Any quarterback that you draft, you're going to have to build around them. I could care less who you are. Any quarterback that you draft, in order for them to have success, there has to be a foundation, a solid foundation of talent, O-line around them, right? Good coaching, everything has to work. Everything has to be dialed in. And so, I know people are kind of pulling up some topics of like, I think I saw like a Tom Brady reference or something like that. But the thing is, game managers, I'll get you in the second round. I'll get you in the third round.
That's my point.
Because I need to build a foundation in order for you to be a true game manager. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you take a look at, there's quarterbacks that have come out in the draft. I mean, I'll be honest. I know we've kind of talked about this. It does suck that we have the number 1 overall draft pick and probably the worst quarterback draft class in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Mendoza is the clear number 1, but then there's really nobody a clear number 2. You got Ty Simpson, then you got Trinidad Chambliss, right? You got names.
If he comes out.
But you got names that are you can get them probably in the second, third, fourth round. Yeah. And so Mendoza is the the hot name, but at the same time, there's probably 7 other quarterbacks in the last 4 years that I'd take before him. And so that's the hard part is you just look at what he was asked to do at Indiana. And yes, again, like I'm saying, accuracy was great. Ball placement was great. Velocity was great. Him being able to kind of take the moment was good. I'm not discrediting him in all that. But 90% of what he was asked to do, he's not going to be asked to do in the NFL. And does that translate well? And I'm just concerned at picking him number 1 with that expectation of him performing like a number 1 overall. And as a number 1, I want him to win us football games. And he just wasn't asked to do that consistently enough in Indiana. The running game took over. They won through the running game, not through Mendoza. He had his moments, the 15-yard or the run that he had this game, right? That was a huge moment for him.
A crazy run, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna go down. That's all-time play. That's gonna be on commercials. That's gonna play on the highlight reel when they talk about college football and talking about the national. When they talk about the national championship next year and they doing a promo for it, that play is going to be on there, guaranteed, because it's one of those kind of plays. But like you can have great play. Like perfect example, like look at what Vince Young did in the national championship game. Look what Vince Young did in the national championship game. That play was legendary. That play that Vince Young made against 2 Heisman winners across the field from him, from a star-studded lineup across the field from him, like what he did in that game was the stuff of legends. And I wouldn't have taken Vince Young number 1 that year because I was like, bro, he's throwing, I don't know about it.
Right.
So that's why people get wrapped up in the moments, and obviously Mendoza is the best quarterback in this draft class, so that's what people are going to be focused on. So he's going to get a lot of positive press, and he's good. I think he's a good player. But we're talking about number 1 overall pick.
Oh, right.
And we're talking about, and it's not just the number 1 overall pick. It's talking about if you take him, you cannot take another quarterback within the first 3 rounds these next
4 years. Yeah.
4 years?
At least.
You can't. Right? Because if you do, the only time I've ever seen it done was with Josh Rosen, and I could have told them. Like Josh Rosen had a hot tub in his dorm room at UCLA, bro. I could have told her, like, don't be Josh Rosen. I wouldn't do it. All the talent in the world, but he ain't like that. He ain't ready for it. So that's the only time I've seen the team do it. But like, look, man, we giving up on this dude now, like in terms of a quarterback. So we can't, and we have to at that point. Our fait accompli has to be Mendoza and his success. Has to be what can we do to make him successful. Everything else goes out the window. You have to focus on making him the most successful player as possible. Now, if you feel that what will make him the most successful is to keep games tight and, play good defense, okay, then maybe you focus on defense there. But you still have to add those necessary weapons. We don't have a number 1 wide receiver. We might end up needing a second tight end because Michael Mayer might leave for greener pastures. And elsewhere, and he hasn't been that productive when he has been here, right? We probably need a number 2 receiver because I don't feel Jack Bech is that guy. You know, I don't feel Trey Tucker is that guy. I don't know if Dante Thornton will be that guy either. So like we're going to need a complete overhaul on terms of our skill positions outside of running back and tight end, because we're locked in on Genti and we're locked in on Bowers. But then we need a second running back because we have to balance some of the running that we do with Ashton Genti, because he took like 90% of the carries. Like that's not sustainable for a young guy in the NFL. I don't care how sturdily he's built and all this stuff. I saw what happened to Larry Johnson. I saw what happened to Larry Johnson with the Chiefs. And that will be the fate of Ashton Genti if we don't get a compliment to him.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like you can think Genti's great or not, but at the end of the day, we picked him at number 6. You want him to basically sustain his life in football, which means you need somebody to come in that's going to take away at least 7 to 9 carries a game, just so that you don't beat him up. Like you want him here. You pick him at 6. You want him here for the rest of his contract. That's the goal with the number 6 overall pick. So you need somebody that's going to be able to kind of minimize some of the carries so you prolong just his lifespan in the game. Being 5'8", 210, 215 pounds, like you're not going to carry the ball 30 to 35 times a game for the next 10 years. That's wild to even think. And so, Rebel, real quick, if you're trading back, how far back are you willing to go, and who are you possibly trading with? Because all of that matters. Chris, I'm going to throw it to you first, man. How far would you want to trade back?
Well, hold on. First, before we go there, man. Hold on. Let me find the.
Where's that?
My buddy. Here, I got. Actually, hold on.
I'll give you my quick answer. I want to trade back to 2. I don't want to. I want to trade back to 2. At the very least, stay inside like the top 4. But I got to do more research on all the prospects and who I'd want. But that I wouldn't go back. I want to trade back with the Jets. That's it.
Yeah.
What do you got up there?
Cleveland has a bunch of first round picks, right?
Yeah, they got 2.
But they're at 6.
They got 2 this year. Yeah, I think they're at 6, and then they got the Jaguars pick. But real quick, so to Money Chuck, he said basically us 3 were always negative and we never agree with the majority. Well, you know what? You're right. You're right, because while people like the Money Chucks of the world, you guys were telling us that we were going to be a double-digit win team this year. So I don't want to hear none of that. This is the organization that's won, 7 games in the last 2 years? So, yeah, you guys can be all, butterflies and all that and roses if you want. We're just keeping it real. It's not about being negative. We're being objective and we're keeping it real. You guys are too emotionally, triggered with all this stuff. So you guys just want stuff that makes you feel good and all that. We have won 7 games in the last 2 years. I don't even need to go back at how many games we've won in the last 20 years. Well, it's the second least out of all teams in the daggone NFL, right behind the Browns, and we're only a few games ahead of the Browns. So, miss me with all this. These guys are being negative. They need to give us something to be positive about. So I don't want to hear all that trash, man. Yeah, if you don't like the negative text, then I'm sorry. Then you may need to go find another team that's good. Go be I don't even know who's good. Who's
gonna be Steak being good?
Yeah, exactly. I was
say being good.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Hey, look.
I'll be another fan. Hey, someone else.
We're not light of what happened yesterday. Go be a Chargers fan.
Right.
Right.
Come on, man. Like if you just want positive takes all the time, this is the wrong team to be cheering for, man.
But that also, in the same breath, the best part is this is why I love being on YouTube, because people will give me shit on my takes, but guess what? I ultimately end up being right. So go check me on it. Go check me on it. I've been on this YouTube thing since 2023. You can go back to my first video way back in the day, and my biggest take was Tyree Wilson. That was the first thing I wanted to jump on that.
And that's what I'm saying. And Money Chuck was probably a guy. Money Chuck's probably a guy that's saying, "Oh, he's the next Javon Curse. Oh, look at his measurables."
He was arguing with me before this year about Tyree. Like, I'm the type of person. Look, I'm never. Whenever you hear me talk, I'm never going to tell you what I think you want to hear. I'm never going to tell you what I think is going to make me popular. I'm never going to tell me what people like. I'm going to tell you what I honestly believe. And some people can't take that, and that's cool. That's cool, but you never gonna hear no BS from me. If
Right.
you got on a whack outfit and you be like, man, hey, Severe, what you think of this? I'm like, bro, you need to change, dog. Like, that's just how I am, bro. I'm not gonna BS you. I'm not always gonna give it to just filthy and be like, yeah, your outfit is trash. I was like, yeah, man, hey.
It
this
ain't
the day for that one. This ain't the day for that one, bro. Say that one for a different day. You feel me? Like, but I'm going to give you honest opinions. So if like some of y'all love Fernando, bro, if you love Fernando, I'm not here to tell you not to like him. I'm here to tell you what I see and what I think of him and what I think he will be in the NFL. And your opinion may differ. Cool. But it's not about being negative. It's about like the people want to be in echo chambers. That's how you just hear reinforcement of what you already think. That's just, if you don't want to be challenged on your thought, then don't listen to other people speak. Because you're gonna find people that don't agree with you. Like, that's just life, bro. But I'm going to tell you guys my honest opinion. Have I been wrong? Yeah, I've been wrong plenty of times. Have I been right? Yeah, I've been right a lot more than I've been wrong. But it is. But that's just life, man. Like, nobody's right 100% of the time. Nobody's wrong 100% of the time. And anytime I tell you something that's not the most positive about this team, or if I'm saying I don't think they're making the right move, the hope is that I'm always incorrect.
Wrong. Exactly.
My hope is that I'm incorrect.
Exactly.
When I said the Raiders should not draft Jamarcus Russell number 1 overall because I wanted Calvin Johnson, I was right. When I said I don't know if I would take Adrian Peterson because he was coming off a collarbone injury at Oklahoma and he had durability issues there, so I don't know how long he would last in the NFL, I was wrong. But it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to be 100% right all the time, but I'm always going to tell people my honest opinion.
I'm with you. That's what you're going to get here. We're not going to continue and just, again, to Severe's point, the echo chamber. Like, trust me, because I've been doing this for a very long time, not this YouTube thing, but just the football evaluation side of things, I trust my eyes. And again, go back to just my takes to just being on this YouTube thing.
They're documented.
I trust my eyes.
Documented.
So that's okay. Like, we're fun. Jeff, I appreciate you. Appreciate you throwing a super chat out there, man. I am far behind. I apologize. I'm like 30 minutes behind the chat, man. Jason, you're saying Raiders don't trade back past Jets. None of the other teams have what I want in the draft capital. We can get a cash of picks now from the Jets. So real quick, Chris, how far back would you want to trade if we trade?
To be honest, I mean, depending on what we were given, I mean, I would say probably about the 6. The 6. Like, I don't have to be at 2. If I can get someone like a Reese or Bain or something like that, yeah, like I'll be okay with that. So yeah, if I can stay within like the top 5, I'll be cool. I don't want to go out of like the top 10 or anything like that, but if I can still be in striking distance to get a couple guys that I think that can make some immediate impact, I'm with that. Because again, I want to build this team, specifically from the trenches out. That's really what I want to do.
Yeah.
All right, Severe, your thoughts on trading back?
Yeah, the ideal spot would be 2, obviously, because then you might be able to double dip. You might be able to do a Jeff. You might be able to do a Jeff.
Oh, no.
You double dip, baby. You double dip. I don't think there's really a prospect in this draft class that people would come up for necessarily. But there's potentially, but it depends on after this workout process happens and these interviews and the scouting count, all this stuff. You decide Senior Bowl is next week, so it's all this offseason happening fast. So, but I'm good at 2. I'm good at 6 as well. As long as the conversation is right, because either one of those spots, there's a plethora of options to choose from, whether it's Reese, whether it's Bain, Maui Goa, depending on how you feel about Mansour from LSU. If you think we need another corner, that guy's a dog. Caleb Williams, if you want to go the safety route, the guy's a dog. Some of these receivers, whether it be Tyson or Tate, like there's options at these other spots. If you like Mesidor is he's a little bit, I think he's going to be 24. He's a little bit older. Mesidor is a beast. He's a dog. You got the kid from who's the D tackle from Clemson? Is it Pitt? His name escapes me, but the DT from Clemson. He's a dog as well. We need somebody to replace the last Clemson DT we got rid of. So like we need, so like that gives you options. But again, still, If the organization is sold on Fernando Mendoza and they feel he is their guy, then that's the only option. If that is their guy that they identify as their franchise quarterback, there is no other options. Because either way, he's going number one. So either the Raiders are taking him number one or they're trading with the team that will.
Yeah, real quick. Kevin Lurk said, I have no problem with anyone that doesn't want Mendoza with number one. Just tell me who or how you're getting a QB this year. So if I don't go, I'll just give you my take, right? If we don't go Mendoza and trade back, the question is, do you bring in a veteran of free agency? Again, not a big fan of that route. I think no matter what you do, grab a quarterback starting around that third round, whether it is a Chambliss, maybe you take a swing in the late rounds with a Drew Aller just to get somebody in here to start the developmental process. Doesn't mean he needs to be the guy, but you're starting the process with somebody in hopes that, hey, you can find that guy in the later rounds. But if you don't get Mendoza, then you definitely grab a quarterback that you want to work on as a potential project and developmental piece. And then when you trade back, you stock up on draft picks for next year in a much deeper draft class, quarterback draft class that a lot of people are going to be excited to see. And given the fact, one thing you have to keep in mind is if the Jets get their quarterback, almost every single team in the National Football League outside of us might have their guy. There might be one or two quarterback, like if Seattle doesn't have Sam Darnold, or like there's going to be some teams, that will still need a quarterback. Maybe it's one or possibly two, which means you may not have to jump up and grab a guy if you like him at, let's say, 6. Let's say we only win 5 games next year, right? You may not have to use that draft capital to jump up and go get the guy, and so. That would necessarily be my plan. Is it the plan that everybody wants? Probably not. But at the same time, I'm not going to waste a first-round draft pick and give up all that draft capital if it's a guy that I don't truly believe is going to be the absolute game changer of this organization. I'm just not going to risk that because I think, Severe, you said it before. If you take Mendoza at number one and he's not the guy, you're going to invest the next probably 5 years into that one guy.
Right.
All right. You're possibly going to get him for his 5th-year option. So you're going to have him for 5 years. So if you don't draft another quarterback until 4, maybe 5 years from now, then you give him time to develop. We may not have a quarterback for the next 8 years. 7 to 8 years. That's the reality of it. So you want to make sure that guy is the guy if you're picking number one.
Yeah.
So again, I know a lot of people won't be a fan of that strategy. I'm not necessarily the fan of that strategy either because I want our quarterback. But I'm not going to force myself into that decision if I truly don't think he is the absolute game changer at number one.
Yeah.
I'm just not forcing myself. I know a lot of people say it in the comments, well, we need a quarterback. Of course we need a quarterback.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean
you just
take it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you got to be selective, man. You don't you don't settle just because you don't have it. I used the example before about getting in a long-term relationship or marrying someone just because it's a relationship of convenience or you don't think you can find somebody better. So, oh my God, this is going to be the person I'm with. And then, 3 years later, you having trouble and you're like, dang, I made the wrong choice. And now you either got to work it out or Eddie Murphy said, half, it's like, so that's not the situation you want to put in. And since the NFL implemented the salary, this new salary or new rookie contract structure, there's never been a quarterback drafted number 1 overall that didn't get their 5th year option picked up. So he's going to be here for 5 years. Right. So at what point do you start looking elsewhere? So like I said, he's worthy of being the number 1 overall pick in this draft class just because it's a quarterback driven league and that he's basically the only guy. But that doesn't make him the right choice for us. And if the Raiders feel he is, that's they're gonna have to do what's necessary to make sure they support him. But what I don't want to hear next year is that, he's not doing good because our offensive line. It's the Genty thing. I didn't think Genty should have been drafted in the first round because a running back should be like a final piece. Especially if you draft a first-round running back, that should be the final piece to your offense where, okay, I'm set at wide receiver, offensive line is good, I'm good at quarterback. Okay, dang, now let me add this running back, and I'm good on all these other spots. Okay, I can do this in the first round. I can do this in the first round. But if we do a guy, or we do draft a guy in the first round, what I don't want to hear is what he doesn't have, because he's supposed to be good enough if you draft him in those positions to overcome those obstacles.
Yeah, but Severe, you're being negative though. You're being negative, Severe, because it actually worked out the way you thought it was going to work out. You're negative. Rick, do you think he can thrive in Kubiak's offense? I think one, it depends on how much you're a fan of Kubiak, but look, I think, and that's the biggest caveat to kind of all this, right? If you get a good offensive minded coach, like I'm a Kubiak fan. I know Severe likes Mike LaFleur, right? And Chris, but when it comes to offensive minded head coaches, who do you like?
Man, the crazy thing, and I know we were talking about it. You know, I actually I wanted McDaniel. You know, if we were going to go offensive coach, but like I really didn't necessarily want to go that route, though. You know, I'm more interested in like just a leader of men. You know, that's what I want, man. So you know, but if we did have to go offensive minded, I was gonna go McDaniel. Severe actually kind of got me leaning towards, you know, LaFleur. But yes, but the thing is, like Kubiak, I'm not too sold on him. I just don't know, you know, for one, I'm not sure how he's gonna be able to develop a young quarterback. So and honestly, everyone's just so stuck on this you know, the Mike Shanahan or the Kyle Shanahan tree. I mean, it does have some good offenses, but at the end of the day, I mean, Kyle hasn't been able to do it himself. You know, he hasn't been able to win a Super Bowl and get there and accomplish that. So, yes, I don't know, man. I'm more interested in a leader of men, honestly.
So I asked that question because I think at the end of the day, it does matter just who the head coach is going to be, right? Let's say it's a Clint Kubiak. Let's say it's a Mike LaFleur. Let's say it's when Mike McDaniels was available, right? If you're a fan of Mike McDaniels, right? If we got an offensive-minded head coach and you draft a quarterback, then I think the confidence level that he's going to work out in some capacity definitely goes up, because you get an offensive-minded head coach that now has eyeballed a guy that he likes, that he knows he could develop within the system. Then I think your confidence goes up. Again, everything that, at least for myself, I'll speak for myself, is even though there's question marks of Fernando Mendoza, it's not a saying he can't do it. I hope everybody kind of gets that in their head. I understand that, like, you got the money chucks out there that like to twist things, right? He's basically saying we're just negative, right? No. It's not saying he can't do it. It's just saying that there's question marks on how successful he's going to do it in the NFL based on what he's been asked to do at Indiana. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, if you match him up with the right coach, he could get the best out of him, and all of a sudden now we see an elevated play out of Fernando Mendoza. Yeah. That's without question a possibility. You know what I'm saying? So I know, again, people like to just throw out there, again, like Money Chuck, and just throw negativity out there constantly. We're not saying that he can't do it. We're saying that there's just question marks based on what he was asked to do at Indiana.
Or that he's a bad player. Like I think people say because if you criticize a guy or if you point out his weaknesses,
you don't like him.
Like he sucked. Right? No, like I never thought Genty was a bad player. I just don't think he was worthy of being a first round running back. If we would have took Genty like in the middle of the second, I was like, oh man, this is a good pick. But bro, not in the first, maybe not second, but you know, I would have been more comfortable in the second. But like not in the first round. If we took Travion in the first round, I'd be pissed off. Because he's not a first-round running back.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's a guy that needs to be in a two-back system. You know, and I don't think Genty. I think Genty also needs to be in a two-back system because I don't think he can consistently enough threaten the edges of an offense. So, like, I mean, of a defense. So, like, it's that same situation where I don't think these guys suck or are terrible. Tyree, I kind of thought Tyree sucked. I'm not gonna lie. But these other people, I don't necessarily think they're bad.
Right.
I just don't think we should take. I don't know if we should take them at the spot that people want us to take them at.
Yeah, exactly. And Phil, Chris, real quick, you said, do you guys think he'll be better than any quarterback we have had the past couple of years? Yes, but that's
he better be.
It's a pretty low bar.
It's a low bar.
That's a pretty low bar.
Look, people told me that Aiden O'Connell put a better rookie stats than Peyton Manning.
Oh,
like I heard that all.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I did hear that.
He's better than Peyton Manning. Look at his first 7. So that's what I heard a lot. So if Mendoza can't even be better than Aiden O'Connell, then are we gonna move those goalposts for him and excuse him? See, we're gonna see what that conversation looks like.
So, Ellis, I think this might answer your question because I just kind of explained. You said if we hire Mike LaFleur as head coach, manage to get 2 good offensive linemen and a good receiver in the offseason, would those additions make you more comfortable drafting him or still trading back? Again, if it's an offensive-minded head coach that I think if it's just an offensive-minded head coach, right? Again, Mike LaFleur, if it's a Clint Kubiak, for me, then I would feel more comfortable drafting him. Yes, I would. Because he's eyeballed him. He's done his homework. He's done his research, and he thinks he could do something out of him. Okay, let's build off of it. Again, it's hoping that he can bring out the things that I just have some question marks with, and I would hope that would be the case. So I would be more comfortable with it. Samir, any thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously, Michael Flores is my top candidate. I mean, how are we doing this? How are we drafting him? Are we trading Max? Because if you trade Max in this scenario, I think that makes a lot of sense. Because okay, man, we got a guy that's we think is going to be a quarterback. We're going to do what's necessary to provide the environment for him to be as successful as possible. Exactly. We're going to trade Max. We're going to get potentially 2 first-round picks, possibly another 3rd or something like that. Okay, now I have some stuff to play with, right? I got some assets. If I want to move up and grab it, if I want to do the Houston, the Texans, if I want to grow up and get a Bain or Arvell Reese, and save some money while also picking up these other assets. Okay, now I can do this because now that getting Max off our books, that gives me money to spend potentially on a wide receiver or on an offensive lineman or on a safety who are, or on linebackers who are traditionally, affordable in free agency. So that gives you room to play with. Or you could just go with the draft route and just have a young nucleus and let these guys kind of grow together. You can go that route too, but you'll have options there. So if we do that, like I said, I've already resigned to the fact that Mendoza is going to be the guy. I don't hate it. I just don't think that is the optimal choice for us or the optimal route to go. But if I'm wishing him all the success. Hopefully we get the right coach and we give him the right environment to be successful.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to go back up to the chat with LS, man. I appreciate you on the super chat. And I don't know if everybody's kind of answering a question for the nation. Would you prefer Max or Mendoza on the team for 2026? Can't have both, in my opinion. Need to move Max on to give Fernando Mendoza the tools to succeed. I'll answer that real quick. If we do get Mendoza, I am moving off on Max.
You have to.
I think you have to.
You have to.
That changes your timeline, bro. Max wants to win, and he wants to win now. Like bro, he's about to be 31 by the end of this contract. But he's gonna need a contract. Like I said, he's gonna need a contract extension soon. Do what you need to do to support your young player.
Absolutely, and appreciate the super chat, LS. And Jeff, you got another one. Appreciate you. Why would you guys have to agree with the majority? God forbid you have a difference of opinion. I'm with you.
Only sheep think like that. Only sheep want to just go with the masses. I mean, going against the grain is not a bad thing. Think for yourself.
There was a point in time where this conversation, and I know Jeff's going to take a shot at him. There's not a shot at you, Jeff. But anytime I would criticize something the Raiders were doing in the offseason or when I questioned their draft, it's like, who knows more about football? The Super Bowl winning championship coach or you? Yeah. Who knows more? Apparently, I know what the hell I'm talking about because all the moves I criticized seemed like all of them failed. And the one move I celebrated, Charles Trent Williams Grant, that looks like a success. Looks like a success.
He's still not it. He's still not it.
We need to change the subject quick.
2 games ain't enough. 2 games ain't enough.
Pre-snaps
we need to change the subject quick.
You should have seen I was running an inverted cover 2. You thought it was Tampa. I was running inverted, baby.
Jeff, you see what you did? My God. And this is here's the problem, right? I know again, it's going back to our favorite fan, Money Chuck. We weren't a fan of Genty at 6, and a lot of that was based off the fact that we knew we didn't address the free agency correctly. We knew that. Alice Capel was not the right move. It wasn't. That's how you address free agency. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we saw what they did in free agency or lack thereof, knowing that Genty wasn't going to have success his first season. And then you wait till the third and fourth round or the third round to address the offensive line. We knew that was not going to be a successful pick. But everybody's like, oh man, Genty is just going to run all over these people. You had the majority of the fan base going, Genty's just going to run. He's going to fix this running game this season. Yeah, well, guess what? Guess who was right? And we didn't go with the majority. We didn't go with all the bigger guys just loving the Genty pick. Well, this is where we stand. All right? And we knew this is what the case was going to be. But again, that's us.
We're negative.
We're negative. We're going against the majority. Like, God forbid. But yes.
Sheep.
All right, let me scroll back up. Let me make sure I get to I did star a couple. Let's see. Kevin Lurker. I think you're talking to somebody else. My bad. Let's see. I got a couple others. And man, we still got another topic. What up, CJ? What's going on, man? We apologize. We apologize for killing the high. Let's see. Jason, I don't know any QBs that is successful with the right pieces. Yeah, you got to build around them. And you know that's for any quarterback. So let's see. I just want to make sure. What up, Coach? All right. So now that we understand where you guys stand, after the Raiders take Mendoza at one in the first round, who should they take in rounds 2 and 3? I got my quick take on that. I got more research to do. I know for like the last month and a half, everybody's like, what do you think about the quarterbacks? I can't give you my take until I do my research. That's why I stand on whatever my opinion ends up being. I stand on it. Because I know that I've done my research. I trust my eyes. I've trusted my eyes for the last 38 plus years of playing and coaching this game, and they haven't failed me very often at all. So I got to do my research on the next just the prospects, and we'll be definitely hitting some mock drafts and doing all that. The amount of shit I got for taking Will Campbell and Jacob Parrish, but Will Campbell, because everybody's like, oh, short arms. Look at his combine, yeah, and I look at his play on the field. But everybody gave me shit and was like, that wasn't the popular opinion, and he's doing okay over New England. So
you gotta go with the masses. Go with the majority, man.
Got to.
Go with the majority. In fact, just listen to Kuiper while you're at it. Just listen to Kuiper.
All right, Severe thoughts. Second and third round. Anybody that you would target?
Hoping a guy like Boston falls.
Yeah,
people are kind of hiding cold on Jacoby Lane, but he's like a big-bodied receiver, like 6'4", 6'5". Mendoza seems to like those guys. He has a big catch radius. And you look at guard. I think look at guard. Whether you want to look at guard in the second and see if you can find a weapon in the third round, or you want to look at weapons in the second and find a guard in the third. Like some combination of those two. But I think we need to address the interior of the offensive line definitely, and then we need like a legit big play, big body receiver that's going to give him the ability to do that back shoulder game that he's very proficient at.
Chris, any thoughts?
Yeah, the first person I always think of is Boston. He's probably the receiver that that I've kind of been watching the most, because I always have to admit I was wrong about T-Mac this year. In Boston, he reminds me of that. I mean, he's not as explosive, but I like how he can go get the ball in the air. He's great at playing the ball. So basically second round, to me, I want the best receiver available. If we got a guy that can, honestly, the second and third round is going to be guys that can help out our number one pick. So just like Severe said, probably third round, I'm looking at the offensive line, looking at, the best available guys. So again, I do have to do some more research on the offensive line, but as far as receiver goes, I would love to have Boston. That's my number one guy I want, especially after looking at, who I think may be available for free agency as far as wide receivers, because I don't think what's his name is going to hit the market.
Pickens.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hit the market.
Pickens cannot be on. He cannot be on team. Him or AJ Brown, bro.
Oh,
destroy Mendoza's confidence.
Right. So yes, I definitely would want Boston or the best receiver, and then a lineman in the third. So,
and I guess the only thing I will say is I think a lot has to do with, as much as I can maybe target somebody, and I know that's kind of fun to kind of evaluate right now, it's whatever we do in free agency is going to mess all that up. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what we target in free agency, the position groups that we decide to end up, bringing on to this roster. If they're starting caliber, you know what I'm saying, then that fills a need for the draft. So we'll kind of see how that works out. Real quick, Rick L, you're saying, do you guys like Ty Simpson? I'll give you my quick take. I haven't done a lot of research on Ty Simpson. I've been really focused on Mendoza. So I'll give you my quick take on Ty Simpson. I do think Ty Simpson has a lot of potential, given the fact that he didn't have as much of a complete team like Mendoza did. Like Mendoza had just a complete team around him. So I think Ty Simpson did more for his team as it relates to just the quarterback position. And I know a lot of people basically kind of look at that. I think it was the Ohio State game where he kind of fell off. But again, I don't just look at one game to determine. Like it's like the Dante Moore game, right? Everybody saw him against Indiana, like, oh, see, Dante Moore. No. Like it's one game. That's it. I want to go back and do a little more research on Ty Simpson. I think that he did a really good job of being able to kind of work with the talent that he had around him. But I got to do more research. I know a lot of people did like him prior to that Ohio State game, so I got to do more research. Chris, any thoughts?
Indiana game, I think it's Indiana game.
Was it Indiana game?
Yeah, the playoff game against Indiana.
So, Chris, any thoughts on Ty Simpson?
Yeah, I wasn't too big on him. Salute to my boy Rundown. Rundown was very high on him early on. Yeah, he's a guy that, if I can get mid, if we don't get Mendoza, someone that I'll get like mid draft, someone that, you can just have maybe try to, see what you have in him and develop him, something like that. But no, to me, he's not a guy that I would take seriously as wanting to build a team around. To me, he's definitely not an early first round talent at all.
Severe thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was never super high on him. He was always like a second apron of quarterbacks, but I know he was basically competing for that third or fourth spot. I honestly, I like Mateer better than I like him, but I don't know.
Started on fire, man, until he got hurt. He was on.
I don't know where either one of those guys will end up going. Like, everybody that was critical of Jalen Monroe last year, like this dude couldn't beat out Jalen Monroe. Like, he's been at Alabama for, like, people think he's like some young guy. He's been at Alabama for years. He just couldn't win a job. So I don't know. So not only is he already kind of a little bit of an older prospect coming to the league, but he's an older prospect that doesn't have a lot of starts either. So like you don't get the benefit of it, like of anything, of him being a young guy or being a guy that, okay, he doesn't have the start, so I can mold him. Like he hasn't. So I'm kind of cool on him. If it, like you said, if he were to drop to the mid rounds, okay, I'll take a look at him there. But I doubt it, because this quarterback class is so bad that somebody's going to probably overdraft him.
Probably. Raider Primos, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you popping in. Who would you guys draft in 2027 at quarterback? I mean, Dante Moore one more year.
Dante Moore. I'll draft Dante Moore first this year. I don't give a damn what I think about that last.
I like Sellers too, man. But again, see, it also depends on that development. Just like Mendoza, had a pretty good development from last year to this year. I assume that Dante Moore is going to do it. I assume that the
mature kid's gonna
that's what I'm saying.
And he's gonna grow.
And the thing is, if all those guys develop from last year to last year to next, or this year to next year, I think I'm for sure all of them are going to be better prospects than Mendoza. Isn't that USC kid? Isn't that USC kid? He's going back to USC, right?
Going back to yeah.
He's going back.
Yeah.
Who's that? The Mensa, the kid from BYU.
Yeah, I like it.
Darren Mensa.
It's like
Brennan Sorsby is another guy that's interesting. That I think a lot of people are looking at. He's like, could he be on the same trajectory as some of these other people that transferred, left his college late? I think he's been around I forgot what school he started off at. He started at Indiana. He left Indiana when Cignetti got there, and Cignetti brought in Rourke. He left Indiana and he went to Cincinnati. He's been at Cincinnati the last 2 years. Now I think he's going to Texas Tech, and Texas Tech is going to have a damn good defense, we assume. So I think he's going to be able to play, and they're spending money hand over fist over there in terms of NIL deals. So they're going to build a roster around him, so he could be a name to look at next year. But like Dante Moore is the guy I was looking at this year, knowing full well that Mendoza is a more finished product now, and there's a lot of it is projection of what I think he will be. But I think like I said, in 3 years, I think he's going to be the better player.
Yeah, and next year's quarterback class is going to be very deep with not a lot of teams that probably need quarterbacks.
What about what's my man Mars? Dang, who's a quarterback from it's Marcel. I think that's the name. Marcel Reed. That his name?
For Texas
yeah.
A&M?
Yeah. What year is he?
He can't come out. Yeah, I think he's a sophomore. He can't come out yet.
I like him in a couple years too. I think he's gonna be nice. I think he's gonna be nice.
I think he was taller than I thought too. I think I looked something up because I thought he was like real small. I think he was kind of taller than what I thought he was.
I think like 6'1", maybe 2.
Yeah, but I think he was like, I thought he was like, like 5'10", 5'11". Like I thought he was like a Kyler type of dude.
Yeah, I like his game.
And Jason, actually, Charles Woodson, the kid, the safety for the Patriots, was a guy, and we're gonna go back and look at our mock drafts.
Craig Woodson.
Oh, Craig Woodson, yeah.
Yeah.
Craig Woodson was a guy. I think a couple.
I know I picked him a few times.
Like we targeted the crap out of him, and that's where it's so hard to determine some of these damn simulated mock drafts. And I said this when we started doing mock drafts at the beginning of last off season, is they always had him basically later in the rounds, but then I think the Patriots picked him in round 3, I believe. Maybe. Whereas you could have got him in the mock drafts in round 6 and 7. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, but Craig Woodson was a guy. I think all three of us definitely loved it. Like targeted, I know I targeted him in the later rounds every single mock draft. And he's doing a damn good job over there with the Patriots.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Real quick, Jeff, you're saying, what do you guys think of Chambliss? All right, Chris, I'm gonna throw it to you first. What's your thoughts on Chambliss?
Oh, I liked him early. I liked him. I was in our group chat talking about him, man. I always liked. He's one of those just fiery guys, man. You could just tell on the field he has that moxie about him. And again, I hope he can. Actually, I hope he can get another year, man. Get another year, and then come out next year. I think he'll be ready as well because he has some dog in him. Coachable, and yeah, I love it. I'm a fan of him. I don't think he's not ready for the NFL yet, so I don't think he's going to be. I think it'll be better for him to stay with another year.
Yeah, man. Thoughts on Chambliss?
Yeah, I like Chambliss. Obviously he has a lot of work to do. The Lane Kiffin offense, it's weird, it's unique. Also, he only has 1 year of Power 5 football. He came from Division II. He won 2 national championships at Division II, though. So he won at his, according to the level of his competition, was down there, dominated. Wasn't the starter in the beginning of the year. I think the first guy, I don't remember if he got hurt, if he got benched, but he comes in, steps in, damn near immediately electrifies Ole Miss's offense and get those guys cooking. And they were very close to beating the team off the work that he was doing, for beating the team that Fernando Mendoza struggled mightily against with a better roster of talent. So that tells you the kind of gamer this guy is. But, he's, like I said, he's a little bit, I want to say he's a little bit older. He doesn't have a lot of Power 5 experience, and he's a shorter guy. So you always kind of worry about those shorter quarterbacks. But just in terms of just like heart and dog, people talk about dog, and he was the most dangerous quarterback in all of college football last year. You might have said Mendoza was the best. Now, I thought Dante Moore was the best prospect, but just in terms of danger, can flip the game with an insane play. He was the guy I was worried about.
I was a fan of Chambliss. I wish he could have gotten 1 more year to go back. I mean, you got to give respect to what he did in the D2 level. A lot of experience was great. Would love to see him just more against D1 competition, just get more experience under his belt. if he could have gone back, I'm telling you, this kid probably would battle for the number 1 overall draft pick next year if he goes back, stays healthy. And you talk about a quarterback that could work out of structure. Just a little bit that he had this season. Again, I think he had 8 games, I believe, 8 or 9 games. You could just tell how well he could work out of structure.
Yeah.
And so, again, always a risk with a young quarterback, but it would definitely be exciting if he got one more year in college football at Ole Miss, get the experience. I mean, that's definitely a kid that's going to be fighting for number 1 overall draft pick. I mean, that's exciting. Now, if we don't pull the trigger and get Mendoza, and he's available, without question, he is that next quarterback I'm most likely going after. Oh, yeah. Get him in the building, get him as a developmental piece. You probably can get him, I would assume, I don't know this, don't quote me on this, maybe 3rd round. If you get him 3rd round.
See, but the thing is, with this class the way it is,
yeah,
he's not gonna last to the 3rd. No, that's the only thing.
Yeah, he could be.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
If it's 2nd, if it's 2nd to me, it's like that's a little bit earlier than I'd like.
Yeah.
But if you don't get Mendoza at 1, then it's almost like it's just a good enough prospect. Because if you can get him in the 3rd, I don't think anybody's going to judge whether or not he doesn't work out.
Right.
Like you want him to work out, but because it's a quarterback, I think it's okay to kind of make that risk. In the 2nd, that's a stretch for me. It's like it's almost like you have to. It's like a Jackson Dart, right? If Jackson Dart went the 2nd, and you're building around him,
rock with him, yeah.
So, but let's see. Okay, real quick, picks. What's going on, man? I'm ideally trading back to pick up Downs around 10, Styles 15.
Sonny Styles,
20.
man.
Sonny Styles is available. He's gonna be out there.
I like it down too.
What up, Yaya? What's going on, man? Appreciate you rocking with us. Let's see. LS, another aspect to consider: if you don't have an established quarterback by the time Brock's contract is up, he's gone for sure. That is,
but you got
true.
Three more years of control over Brock.
You do, because you're going to sign that 5th-year option.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I mean, obviously he has to accept it, but
now he has no choice. He's a 5th year. That's the team option. You can't decline it. And then
I thought you can decline a 5th year.
The team can decline it. Brock can't decline it. He's trapped. He's locked in for 5 years at least. And then they still can franchise him at least once. So the Raiders have 4 years of contract of Brock Bowers where he can't go anywhere.
You're locked in. I thought you can refuse the 5th-year option as a player.
The team can refuse it. The player can't refuse it. The player can't.
I thought it was the player. Oh,
no, unless you can do like
you can hold out basically.
Exactly, you can do a Khalil Mack and hold out, because that's what the Raiders did. They picked up his 5th-year option and he held out, but he was still contracted with the Raiders. He just held out. So if you feel like Brock doesn't strike me as the type of person that would do that. But that remains to be seen. But yeah, you still got the 5th-year option and you got the franchise tag for at least 1 year where he can't go anywhere. So you got time.
So, Cal, real quick, you said how can you convince a young up and coming coach to come here with a veteran QB or a rookie in the later rounds? I don't think it's convincing him. He's just got to understand like that is the plan. Maybe he doesn't value Mendoza like that.
Exactly.
Then he's willing to come over here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's convincing. It's whether he just doesn't value Mendoza in the same way and is okay with the option of trading back.
Yeah.
I guess none of us really know.
People are working under the assumption that all these guys are in love with Mendoza, and that may not be the case. So, like perfect example, Frank Reich didn't like Bryce Young as a quarterback. He didn't want the Panthers to take Bryce Young. He was against that move. And they, obviously they did it anyway. But like just because we like him and he's a consent, like remember, Shedeur Sanders was consensus by the masses, the 2nd quarterback off the board. NFL teams had a different opinion of him. And there was some other stuff that went on. Obviously, once you got past the 3rd, I think that was just buck breaking. But, just because the masses have an opinion on a guy. Remember Ryan Nassib? Remember every draft guru told you, Ryan Nassib, you're going in the 1st round. He's a guy, he's a fast riser. The teams are falling in love with Ryan Nassib. And that wasn't the case, right? So, or they had him go super early and he didn't go that early. So, Like, just because the opinion of the masses is one thing doesn't mean that these coaches or are a prospective coach will have that same opinion.
I agree. I mean, just look at how many all the years the quarterbacks drop in the draft. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden they're like, "Holy crap! Why is he sticking around until the teens when he was supposed to be like a top 5 draft pick?" Like, just sometimes head coaches just aren't as high on them as the public is, or even the analysts.
R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins is a perfect example.
Yeah, right. Phil Chris, real quick, he said, "But what if he balls out and does become the game changer?" That is the risk that you take sitting with Spytech. Like, you got to get it right.
Yeah.
It is the risk you take, and that's why I think there is a lot of pressure, unfortunately. Yeah. So, and you find a lot of GMs will succumb to that pressure and pull it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's tough. Chris, I think you have something to say to that.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that it's talking about, like, what if he does ball? Like, he has to become a game changer, being the number 1 overall pick. Yeah. I mean, there's you have to, or it's not worth the investment.
Yeah. Severe, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, like, he has to become a game changer. Like, he ain't gonna be able to run RPOs and just throw outside receivers and throw back shoulder throws all game long. And then even look in that game, his back shoulder throws start to be inaccurate. Like the one to Becker on the sideline, that was a nasty throw. Like, Becker made a great play on that. He almost threw a pick. People talk about pick sixes. He almost threw a pick 6. I think that was the third or fourth quarter. So, like, once the scouting report is out on a guy and he's like, all we got to do is beat him up, and we could press his receivers and make him have to hold the ball a split second longer than he's comfortable. What does he look like? And we kind of saw it was 4 completions in the second half or something like that. So, so he has to overcome that, But if you draft a guy, that's what GM said. You're not drafting a guy for what he is now. You're drafting a guy for what you think he's going to be in 3 years. Mm-hmm. So if you are saying that, and that's part of the reason why I always said I was hiring Dante Moore. If you ask me year 1, who's going to be the better quarterback in the NFL, I would have told you Fernando Mendoza. But if you ask me in year 3, who do I think was going to be the better quarterback, I always said I thought it was Dante Moore. So I think that's. But if you think that Fernando Mendoza can be what you need him to be by the 3rd year, then you feel comfortable pulling the trigger. And like, I think it's a no-brainer. But, like, there's no guarantee on any of these guys. But there are degrees of comfort. And that's what people always want to fall back. Oh, nobody's a sure thing. Like, yeah, nobody's a sure thing. But there's some people I'm a lot more comfortable with than others.
Yes, and when we started the Mendoza talk, I think Severe, we started a couple weekends ago, it was saying, look, there is no such thing as a perfect prospect coming to the NFL. They're all rookies. They're all young. Like, there is a massive learning curve going from college to NFL. I could care less how good you are, how highly touted you are. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a learning curve. It's that simple. That's why the last 19 Heisman winning trophy like quarterbacks, 2 of them have gone to a Super Bowl. None of them has won a Super Bowl. 2 of them have only gone to Super Bowls. So don't put them on a pedestal just yet.
Put them on a pedestal.
So, all right.
You want to crown her ass.
All right, let's do this real quick, man. I am so far behind the chat. I apologize. If we're going to get to, there's other questions. I think there is kind of a super chat down below that I definitely want to get to. Let me see. I apologize if I'm skipping around. Let's see. We got Mitch Kinn in the building. What's going on? I appreciate you throwing it out there. I live in Washington. Go Dogs. Love Boston. That would be a great pick. McDaniel's not official yet, right? No, I think he's over there with the Chargers. I mean, I don't know if it's like signed in writing just yet, but all the reports say he's going over there. I feel like he wants the Raiders job, and we're waiting on something. Good game of chess. I think it's official that he's over there.
That's a good spot for him, honestly.
That's a great spot.
Yeah, I can't even lie. Yeah,
I can't. I saw that. It was instant disgust.
Yeah, yeah.
Dying by him. I told you guys, man. Him with Herbert and with Arondé Gadsden the second, and then they get Slater back and Alt back and Becton and then Zion. and at guard, and then Omarion Hampton in the backfield. I don't know what they're gonna do with Najee, but if they get not, like, man, and Quentin Johnson kind of stepping up, you know, Lad McConkey out there,
Lad, like I guarantee
breaking ankles.
He gonna unlock Lad. He gonna unlock Lad.
Yeah.
He is like that. Him having all those weapons, and that offensive line gets healthy. That's gonna be nasty for sure. Let me see. All right, man. I appreciate the super chat, bro. Let me kind of go back up because we got LS. I think you're saying Chambliss is number 2 quarterback off the board.
Yeah, he will be.
Yeah, I got to see a little bit more of Ty Simpson, but there's a lot to like about Chambliss. Well, without question. Jason, I'll be rooting for Chambliss. No doubt I would like him in Raiders colors, but he wasn't ready for SEC either. He was
into the playoff.
I'm about to say, he's looking good.
He won 2 playoff games after Kiffin. Like Kiffin left
after the
and deserted those dudes, left them for dead essentially.
Yeah,
and he still came out there balling and damn near beat Miami, the team that Mendoza needed a defensive touchdown to beat.
Yeah, I mean, look, with what he put on tape is actually pretty damn impressive. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Again, would just love to see just more experience. That's one of my biggest things with quarterbacks is I want them to have a lot of experience going into the NFL. And Chambliss has a lot of experience. Don't get me wrong, but just I'd love to see more D1 experience just to better help with that transition. Real quick. Jason, where Chambliss showed me is he's pissed down his leg in the first Georgia game. The second game, he was lit 13 for 1,361 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half. I didn't see. I saw the Georgia game. I mean, I didn't see him the rest of regular season, so I can't see much.
No, I saw a few much because Chris is a big Lane Kiffin fan. So
I am.
He told us about Chambliss. Because Chris told us about Chambliss, and then Rundown told us about Mensa. So I started watching both those. I was like, man, both these dudes are nice. These dudes are nice.
Real quick, Raiders for everyone. How'd y'all feel about drafting Mendoza and trading back up into the first round to get another guy? Chris, what's your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it depends on who it is, but I think that's kind of like what Severe was talking about earlier, kind of going the Houston Texans route right there. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. At the end of the day, if we get Mendoza, we're going to have to just get some dogs. I mean, that's all there is to it. We're just going to have to get some dogs. So I do like what the Texans did, but honestly, if you think about what the Texans did, they had some extra picks off of that Deshaun Watson trade, so their situation a little different. But I would look at it if it's if we're not giving up too much, I would take a look at it.
Severe thoughts?
It depends on who the guy. It depends on what we're moving up with and for.
Right.
Because I think we got 10 picks in this draft class. If we're gonna do something like that, we gotta trade Max. Right? I'm gonna keep coming back to the same point. You want to do that? Max Crosby, say goodbye to Max Crosby. Say goodbye to him if that's what you want to do. Man, I can't express that or stress that enough. And like, if we want to support this guy and give him the best opportunity to be successful, sorry, Max, loved you, bro. You're a Raider through and through. Good luck with the Cowboys.
Good luck with the Cowboys. Yeah. I think if we get Mendoza, then I think you open up that door to trading Max. Yeah, you trade Max and then you stockpile draft capital. If you keep Mendoza or you drop Mendoza and you keep Max, I don't think I want to give up draft capital to move back up into the first. No. We need all that draft capital to build around Mendoza. Not just Mendoza, right? I mean, we're also looking at a 6th overall pick last year in Genty.
Exactly. Exactly.
Then the question is, and I don't know if Money Chuck's still in here. Your boy Genty. I mean, I know your stepson's going to be gone. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. Unfortunately, like you now are going to build around Mendoza, and when Genty's contract comes up, there's a good chance that you are not going to prioritize that because you already have signed. You've already dumped a bunch of money into Brock Bowers, and then after Genty's 5th-year option, guess what? You're already if Mendoza is as good as everybody thinks he's going to be. Now, guess what? You're right around the corner is a massive contract.
Yeah.
So you're not going to dump it into a running back because now you're going to have to build the trenches. You're going to have to develop. You're going to have to invest money in the offensive line to protect them. Yeah. So guess what? The market tells you you're not going to dump a crap ton of money into a running back when you have a quarterback, potential franchise quarterback, you're about to have to pay.
Yeah. Just think about Brock is going to demand wide receiver money, and he's going to deserve wide receiver type money.
He's the market. He's going to reset the market.
Yeah, and then the Raiders are going to pick up the 5th-year option for Genty, and then but that's going to coincide with Mendoza's 4th year. What the teams usually do is
you got to pay him now.
That 4th year they pay him, and they just use that 5th-year extension as a kind of buffer to kind of spread out the hit of that contract. So that it's like picking up the 5th year, but you sign him to an extension off of that. So that's what's going to happen. So we might be able to get Genty for like maybe another year after that, but he's already the 2nd highest paid running back in terms of guaranteed money in the league. Like, what's the up from there? Like, what's up from that? Making him the most? I don't see that happening, especially not after what Bijan going to be getting pretty soon.
Oh man, yeah, Bijan and what's his name? Gibbs.
Cook too. Cook about to come up too.
Yeah,
Cook gonna have to get paid pretty soon.
Gibbs,
Who else?
Gibbs.
Oh yeah, Gibbs too. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They gonna get paid.
Probably. Okay, we're gonna be talking about a lot of Mendoza for a long time, so let's buckle up. It's gonna be fun. Real quick, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about just the coaching. Let's talk about the coaching real quick. Actually, no, sorry. We'll leave coaching for maybe the next one. Let's talk a little bit about Lamar Jackson, guys. I'm gonna try to get down there into the chat and Meredith's my fishing buddy. I'm with you. I love it. Don't make fun of fishing, Money Chuck. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're the one that hates Boise State.
Money Chuck, the majority people like to fish. He just following the majority. Relax.
I know. I'm sorry. I mean, he's the one that says he hates Boise State, but his son went to Boise State. How could you hate the school that gave you your son to pass away to the NFL? What kind of dad are you, Money Chuck? Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, he's probably Money Chuck's just really excited about a backfield of Mendoza and Genty.
It looks like it.
Super excited.
I wonder why.
Oh man!
Damn it! God damn it! Oh no, LS Genty won't have his 5th year picked up.
Ooh.
Don't say that with Money Chuck around.
I didn't say that, y'all. That wasn't me.
Don't say that with Money Chuck around. Money Chuck is gonna get you.
I'm Mr. Positivity.
Ooh,
I'm saying it's getting picked up. I'm Mr. Positive.
Ooh, it better be
come at you.
Yeah.
Oh man, cool, Kev. Hey, it's Jack and Coke today. We're just having a little bit of fun. I was ready for this chat. It was gonna get wild. All right, let's go real quick. Let's talk last topic for today. We're gonna shut this thing down. I tried to get up in the chat a little bit. I apologize. If you guys have something else, hit that hashtag Raiders. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. We're going to talk a little bit about Lamar Jackson. Guys, let me know, would you want us to potentially trade for Lamar Jackson? One thing to keep in mind, Lamar Jackson, I think he has a no-trade clause, so obviously he's got to agree to it. That's number one. Number two, I mean, he's going to be in excess of like $65 million per year. I think that's what his contract is right now, which is pretty wild. And so just keep that in mind when we go through this. Let me know if you would want to trade for Lamar Jackson. Hit that hashtag Raiders. Let me know. Also, we have over 300 in the building. We definitely appreciate it. Everybody that rocks with us, do us a big favor. Double tap that screen, hit the like button, unless you're Money Chuck. And then you got Chris Fixshow podcast on this side. You got the Severe Raider over here. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. We definitely appreciate y'all. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Just pick that up just so we know what we're talking about. Let me go here. Bang. All right. Let me know, guys. Hit that hashtag Raiders. Do you think that it would be right for the Raiders to try to pursue Lamar Jackson and go after for a trade? Hit that hashtag Raiders. Let me know. Chris, I'll throw it to you first, man. Thoughts on Lamar Jackson? Do you think would you want the Raiders to potentially try to pull it?
Nah, I can't. There's no way. It's so, especially if they're, well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. For one, No. I mean, is no. It's just we can't. For one, we can't afford it. You know, we're trying to build this team the right way. There's been some questionable, reports about, him and maybe just some of his work ethic. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of Lamar is his superpower, just his athleticism. I mean, he can throw the ball as well, but Father Time's undefeated. He's going to start slowing down eventually. He's starting to get hurt every year as well. So, I want no parts of that, man. I do want to find our quarterback, and I'm not willing to go the Lamar route. Now, if this was a couple years ago, I would have thought about it, but not at this point.
No, let me make sure I see what everybody in the chat's saying, just so I can follow along. Before I look at everybody in the chat, Severe Man, thoughts on Lamar Jackson? Would you go after it?
Nah, man, that's another one of those situations where that's a luxury item. That's like you living in a halfway house and buying a Mercedes Benz, bro. Like, you get your priorities right. You feel me? Like, that's like that's not what you do. You don't dump that much money into that kind of guy. Even at the quarterback position, especially with him being, we're not ready to win. He's 29. You think, quarterbacks, they play a little bit longer. I think people underrate Lamar Jackson as a thrower, especially over these past 3 years. I think he's become very proficient at throwing the football, and the athleticism stuff that's an added bonus. But even with that, we don't have anything he really needs to be successful. We have nothing he needs to be successful, and not like he had the greatest weapons, especially a wide receiver when he was in Baltimore. But Zay Flowers is a million times better than any wide receiver we have on the roster. Like Isaiah Likely, he's better than anybody we have on the roster not named Brock Bowers.
Right.
And same thing with Mark Andrews. He's better than anybody on our roster not named Brock Bowers. So it's like, what are we providing him? Derrick Henry is better than everybody we have on our roster outside of Max Crosby and AJ Cole. And you already know, Mr. Trent Williams, Charles Grant. So, outside of those three guys, he's better than everybody on our roster. So it's like what are we providing him over here? Like I don't see him leaving, and it will make no point for us to pursue him because we're not ready for that kind of player. Like it just makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'm with you. You got Ernest, what's going on? You said no Jackson, Rick L. Nope.
Yeah.
Let's go. Raider Primos, you're saying no because he has no trade clause and the contract is nasty. Also, he wants to go to the Ravens. Also, who wants to go to the Ravens from the Ravens? I guess you're saying to the Raiders. Raiders versus everybody. Jackson shouldn't even be up for discussion. I say hell no. Let's see. Jeff,
like you said, a few years ago when they were doing it, and it was like I was one of the people. I was like, look, man, like
I think about it then. Yeah, I'll think about it.
I think they wanted 2 first-round picks at the time.
Yeah,
like
and we had Devontae then. We had
exactly.
Devontae and Jacobs
and Jacoby.
Like, and Kobe. That's what I'm saying. That's a whole different ball game there, but not now.
Now, yeah. And did we still have Waller at that time, or was Waller gone already? Did we?
No, we may have because we only had Mayer 1 year before Bowers came, right? So we may have Waller too. That could have been nasty. Waller's hamstring injury probably would have went away.
Exactly.
Magically.
Jeff, if it means no Mendoza and we get Jackson 100% for it. LS, if we trade for Lamar, I'm having a thermometer and 3 batteries for lunch. Man, LS is not a fan of Lamar. Isaiah, ain't no way we trading for Lamar.
Yeah.
Also, Lamar hasn't done anything with a good team. What is he going to do with our team other than take up cap space? I think he's done a lot with that team. I'll be honest. I think a lot has been it's the shortcomings of some of the players around him. A lot, obviously, drop passes in key moments.
Sold him. Mark Andrews sold him.
Oh yeah,
that needs a 30 for 30. What do I do? Where's Pablo Torre at? You need to get on Mark Andrews for sure, because that was suspect as hell. And Who's been his best wide receiver since he's been?
That's the hard part, right? Like Zay Flowers, and then they got they brought in DeAndre Hopkins. They try with Bateman. That's not like a top tier, right? Yeah. He's had Zay Flowers, which is a gadget guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a top tier receiver, and then it's Isaiah Likely. Obviously, Mark Andrews was a really good tight end, but he's not. I'd argue, say what? Maybe he's not. Maybe bottom top 10, if that. But Isaiah Likely has kind of been his number one target.
Yeah.
As a tight end, so I think receiver-wise, I think when they tried to pull the trigger and got Derrick Henry in there, that was their biggest attempt at trying to make that work. But I think that they just kind of organized it wrong over there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Now, Seventh Son, you apparently have to have us confused with somebody else. None of us. Well, I don't know, 805. You may have been down to trade Jacoby, but I for sure wanted no parts of trading Jacoby. None.
Once the draft, well, okay, no, I wanted no parts of trading him at all. Yeah. Because it wasn't up until the trade talks. I'm sitting there going, well, shit, like he's going to be gone by the trade deadline. So at what point do you get rid of him? But I never wanted to I never thought that was the correct move.
Right.
Especially after the draft, and then you get Jack Besh, the replacement. It was wild. Yeah. So I was never on trading Jacoby.
Strongly against it the whole time,
bro. You can check. I got shorts talking about how much I was opposed to trading Jacoby, or I was saying if you're not going to pay him, then let him go somewhere where he can get paid.
Right.
Don't just hang on to him. I was a supporter of Jacoby. I said before the season and maintained that if you're talking about building a culture, your cultural pillars are guys like Colton Miller and Jacoby Myers. I'm one of the few people when after Jacoby asked for money and then asked for a trade, and then the Raiders brought in Amari Cooper, and Raider Nation went crazy. Like, you better watch out, Jacoby. We just signed your. I'm one of the few people that said Amari Cooper ain't about to do a damn thing. He does nothing on this planet as of right now that Jacoby does better than Jacoby. And people are, you're crazy, Lamar. Amari just needs to be unlocked, and they didn't use him in Buffalo correctly. And then what happened 5 days later? Amari Cooper took his ass back to Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. and so, Seven's like, we were not on the trade Jacoby train ever at all. After the fact that the Raiders started to play mind games with him, then I was basically saying, look, like, he deserves to go somewhere else. If you're going to play mind games with him, if you're going to mess with him like that, then he deserves to go somewhere else. I never wanted him to actually be traded at all.
And even through all that, he was still a pro about it. He still showed up like, and honestly, talking about unlocking, he's the one that pretty much unlocked Trevor Lawrence. This MVP type season people are saying that Trevor Lawrence had, it didn't really start until Jacoby got there and they went on that damn winning streak.
And we were always the one defending Jacoby because the amount of people that just hit the button on the Jacoby slander the moment that they thought he basically wanted an extension. Everybody's like, why do you deserve an extension? You're not a number one, because everybody thought he was supposed to get top number one money. No, that was never the conversation.
Smear campaign. I remember Severe was saying, what did he end up getting paid? Like about 20 something, like about 20.
I think 20,
like a little less than 20 a year. I was saying paying him like 22.5. I was saying paying him like 22.
Yeah, that's what you were saying about what Pittman's getting and stuff.
Exactly. About the contract that Cortland Sutton and Pittman with the Colts, about that range, a little bit higher than those guys, but that same range.
And he ended up taking less.
But for more years. So
right. Salute to him. Man.
So we were never on the Jacoby slander at all,
ever.
At any point.
I still root for him. I still want him to do good.
Absolutely. Mitch Ken, man, appreciate you throwing a super chat out there. You're saying absolutely not on Jackson. Grab Sean Tucker. To back up Genty. Dude is legit. Spy Tech was in Tampa when they drafted him.
I think he's their third guy because
I think he's their third guy.
And Rashad White.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I know when both those guys were hurt. Yeah, he did have a game. I don't remember who he's playing. He did have a really good game against somebody. I can't remember who it was though. But
I forget who it was.
I'd have to watch more of him. I can't speak with any kind of authority on him. But if he's going to be a good option, obviously he was a good guy that was good in spot duty. comfortable being the backup. I wouldn't mind something like that if he comes cheap. I'm cool with that. But look, man, look, man, this is what we can't do. This is what we're not going to do here, man. This is what we're not going to do, brother. This is what we're not going to do. Come on, dog. Come on, man.
Possibly the worst QB in the AFC West. Jesus.
Come on, man. It's like, come on.
I mean, I think, look, I think back to Mitch's comment, we do need to bring in another running back that's serviceable behind Genty. We've been saying it for a while. Again, you need to find somebody that's going to be able to kind of take some of the brunt off of Genty. If you want Genty to have a full career, then you got to have somebody that comes in here and takes kind of like that 7, 8, maybe 9 carries a game just so you can prolong his career. I mean, if he's going to have 25 to 30 carries on the ground, you get them the ball maybe 3-4 times in the air, like he's just going to have a short career. You're going to absolutely kill the guy. That's why almost every single team outside of, I think, us has a rotational backfield for the most part. You know, even Derrick Henry is going to have somebody that's going to take away 7 to 8 carries a game. Like right now, it's Mostert. Mostert's not the guy. There's nobody else. So I think it would be it would serve Genty right if you got somebody in there. Again, I was a big fan of Rico Dowdle last year. If you bring somebody like that caliber in here, because also we see it all across the league. Running backs get hurt. If Genty gets hurt, I don't want a Zamir White type of running back running the football now.
Right.
So get somebody in here just in case of injury because running backs get hurt. So I'm with you. And Sean Tucker, I think even when all that entire backfield, that running back room was healthy, I think he served well as the goal line back. And he's not very big, but they gave him goal line carries, and he was still scoring touchdowns. Pissed me off because I think he screwed my parlay.
Yeah, I thought he was taking care of somebody on your fantasy team.
No, I think he killed my parlay. I had the spread, and he scored, and he killed my parlay. God damn it. But appreciate you, man. But real quick, going back to Lamar, real quick. Severe, I don't know. Did you give your take on Lamar?
Yeah, I get my take.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for myself, I want to build this the right way. I do. I want to get a young quarterback in here. I want to get a quarterback that's on their 5th-year contract, potentially get somebody in the first round, and we can start to build it the right way. If we're going to rebuild, do it the right way. And I think we're in the perfect position with the number 1 overall pick in hopes that we never have that pick again. If you are in that position, you got to start the rebuild right, and you got to do it correctly. And so, again, a lot of people like Mendoza. That's fine. And if we get an offensive-minded head coach in here and he likes Mendoza and that's the guy, okay, let's build it that way. But if you trade back and you want to stockpile draft picks and you end up getting somebody next year, or you get somebody in the later rounds and we have an offensive-minded head coach, then I'm okay with that as well, as long as we address it. But I'd love to get a quarterback in the first round, get that 5th-year option. One, I also don't like the fact, Lamar, you've seen kind of the struggles that the Ravens have had with his contract talks. And I know his mom is I believe his agent, and they kind of had those back and forth. They're trying to figure out, how do I navigate, the contract talks. And so it's trying to understand just how easy would it be to be able to negotiate with Lamar in that type of situation. And so, I wouldn't be a fan of bringing Lamar in at this point. So, okay. All right, shoot. That's, let me see if I'm just looking to see if there's any hashtag Raiders or if there's anybody else. LS, the ironic part is that Jacoby would be the perfect receiver for Mendoza.
Perfect.
Possession receiver.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That back shoulder, the back shoulder with Kobe.
Perfect. Yeah, bro. Yeah, and he'll nerd out with him on football.
Right.
Not too much, though. Not too much.
Not too much.
Houston. No on Jackson. He chokes in the playoffs like a Mendoza shot. I think a lot of his players around him definitely choke around him at the same time. So we're going to go back up to the big screen, man. Let's see. Let me do this. Bang. We back up there. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Let me see. What up, Nad, man? What's going on, man? Hey, we've been on here for about 2.5 hours, brother.
Just being negative. We're here just being negative. That's all. That's all. That's what we do.
Mitch, I think it was that Buffalo game that he actually balled out, where Tucker just he took off.
Maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. I mean, it was a game that everybody was hurt and he balled. I was like, "Oh, this dude kind of nice."
I think even early in the season when Kabuki was hurt in the beginning, right?
Yeah,
in the season. Yes, I know. White was doing this thing, but yeah, Tucker came in and did all right. He did all right.
Yeah. Jeez, I think someone started. Did one of you guys start Money Chucks?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. We're projecting injuries now. We're arguing about injuries.
But the thing is, with Genty, when Genty took his first NFL hit in what was it, the first game, actually I think it was the first preseason game. He went to the blue tent. His first big hit.
Are we basing injuries off somebody's height and weight now?
Must be. That's
how you do it?
That's how Money Chuck evaluates it.
It's a very scientific study there, Money Chuck. Very scientific. Very scientific.
Oh man,
Money Chuck is like comical at this point.
He's a unique fellow, man.
He really is.
Fellow.
You say anything bad about Genty, even the potential for him to possibly get injured, like a lot of running backs, and it's not even just an injury, like a season ending. There's plenty of running backs that just you get banged up, right? You're out a game or two, maybe three, or you're out a half. Like it happens. So you want a decent running back to rotate in because injuries happen. But according to Money Chuck, Frank Gore is a perfect example as to why Genty will not get injured. So as long as you guys understand that, chat. But
oh man,
damn, Money Chuck, you're an interesting guy.
Hey man, you got to protect your seed, man. That's his son. You got.
That is. Don't talk shit, guys. Don't see Money Chuck in the Idaho airport. That's all I gotta say. Watch out now. Boise Airport, stay clear. Money Chuck will come get you. Oh man. What up, Jay? What's going on, brother? Appreciate you popping in there. All right. Let's see what's going on. Okay, I just want to say what's up to everybody. Appreciate everybody. Okay. All right, man. Hey, we talked about a lot. We talked about the national championship. We talked about good old Fernando Mendoza. We talked a little bit about Lamar Jackson. Look, I think there's going to be plenty of time to get a little more head coaching talk in. I know it's Wednesday. We're definitely going to be tapping it with you guys this Sunday, so definitely check in with that. But, guys, we'll talk about more head coaching stuff if it pops up. As of right now, not a whole lot going on, except for the fact some people liked what's his face, Mike McDaniel, but he's now potentially signed up with going to be just like he's yeah, like, Money Chuck, man, he's wild. I think Money Chuck just hates us personally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what it has
he
doesn't like us. Yeah, but that's cool though. That's cool though.
That's definitely it.
It's all
good time. Everybody appreciate
Money Chuck. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. See this Sunday. You know he's going to show up. He's just waiting for
he's waiting.
Our takes. Double tap the screen, guys, before we get out of here. But before we do, man. Do us a big favor. Hit that notification as well. So you do when we go live, we're going to be breaking down some game film. I know, according to Money Chuck, our evaluations suck, but we'll break down game film. We do it live so we can get your opinion as well and have a little bit of fun. So definitely check in with us. But before we get out of here, Chris, man, let everybody know what you got going on, especially your show with Dub over the weekend.
Yeah, man. It's your boy Chris with Protect the Shield podcast, man. Appreciate you guys coming through. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up or double tap the screen. Make sure if you guys are in my chat, make sure you guys go follow my brothers as well, 805 and Severe. Just salute to everybody. And actually, I see salute to Avocasi Raider.
Yeah. You still in the States, bro?
He might be.
Are you in the States?
Hey, man. He might just stay. He might just say Avocasi.
If you still in the States, I'm gonna think you a fugitive. If you still
right.
I'm thinking you hiding from the Australian government, bro. You still out there.
Right.
Which the U.S. is the worst place to hide at this point.
Place you want to be.
But yeah, man. So I do got my I do a show with Dub Raider on this channel, man. So make sure you check out my boy Dub Raider. We drop that every Saturday. And then just do my show with my brothers, man. So make sure you link up with us, man.
Backwards man.
Oh shit! Everybody, actually go over to Akashi's channel, man. Definitely go some support over there. Just some love. He definitely goes live. I don't know if you're gonna bring it back with Akashi, but you were doing those game shows before, which is good shit.
It was dope. It was good stuff.
What up, Justin? What's going on, man? Severe, man. Let everybody know what you got going on throughout the week.
And you guys know what it is, man. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, X, everywhere. The Severe Raider, man. My guys, Sunday and Wednesdays in the Raider Roar Room, man. Chris Protect the Shield, 805 Raider. Obviously, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Pharaoh NFL with the 50-50 show and Around the Shield. Tap in with your boy, man. Occasionally, I pop in on Mondays, talk some stuff, man. I'm going to get back on that, especially now, off season, make a lot of people mad. I think I lost like three subscribers for my Mendoza takes. People get mad like Mendoza.
I hate you.
Unsub. But I don't keeping it uncomfortable, man. You don't ever want to can't let them get too comfortable.
I don't mean to bring this topic up, but the amount of subscribers I lost back in the day with my Bo Nix takes.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm telling you, shit froze for damn near an entire season. But go ahead, my bad.
So yeah, man, make sure you tap in with your boy, man. Hit those notification bells. Make sure you hit the like button on all three channels. Make sure y'all sub to all three channels. All three of us got memberships. Tap in with that. And yeah, man, like the video, hype the video, all the usual stuff, man. We'll be back at y'all soon with some game film. We might break down your boy Mendoza to kind of illustrate what we've been saying.
They just hating. They are.
They'll be back. Like I got a bunch of unsubs when I trashed Pete Carroll, and guess what?
They're back.
I'm telling you. And yes, pretty much, man, everybody's entitled to their opinion without question. You know what I'm saying? And I think the one thing that I think a lot of people need to understand is that it's our opinion, and obviously I will bring at least my opinion, and I won't just give you just one word answer. I'll do my best to explain why I have my opinion. But at the end of the day, I've said it before, I could be a fan of say Will Campbell, right? I was a fan of Will Campbell coming out, Kelvin Banks, but if Will Campbell came here with Brendan Carroll as a offensive line coach, I probably would have looked like crap because Will Campbell probably would have looked horrible. But there's a lot of things that go on as it relates to just the potential that players have in the National Football League. And sometimes it's out of the hands of the player itself. LS, next show, mock draft. I don't know, LS, because I saw a hot dog water comment before. I don't know if I'm doing that just yet.
Man.
But hey, we're going to get out of here, man. Appreciate it. Double tap that screen before you get out of here. You got Protect Show Podcast. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. Got the Severe Raider. Do us a favor, hit that sub button. If you like what you're hearing, if you don't, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We'll still come back. We'll hit you with our takes, and we'll have a little bit of fun. So we appreciate y'all. Double tap that screen, hit that notification. Check in with us on Sunday. Appreciate the subscribers. Appreciate the members. Appreciate the super chats. We're going to get the hell out of here. Appreciate y'all. We're out.